Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with your friends, get your gaming goodness every Monday. My name's Dylan Blight, and joining me on the couch this week, Ciaran Marchant.
Hi, it's me, Ciaran Marchant, here to say I'm excited about console gaming for once.
For once. That's not any other week.
Never, not in any other week. Like, if you can, how I've been every other week of the show, all other episodes of the show, not excited about console gaming. Now, excited about console gaming.
All it took is the PS5, is what you're saying.
Probably, something like that. Or just games in general.
Fair enough. I'll say here, Ashley Hobley.
Hey, Dylan, excited to be here with another quiet week.
That's right. Absolutely nothing happening this week. But it's actually E3 2020 week. I don't know if anyone's actually aware. Now, we can argue about this a bit later in the show because that is going to be the main meat of this episode, but it definitely feels like it's E3 at the moment. But the weird thing about it, this week feeling like it's E3, it means that E3 doesn't actually end until August. And that's kind of scary. I mean, that's kind of what's going to happen.
I mean, we asked for that for so many years for it to last longer.
Yeah. I'm going to save my topic, but I'm going to do a topic after Gamescom. The topic is going to be, now that we've had a more sporadic, spread out, this news cycle of 3 months of bullshit, and we can look back and say, is that better? Or is it just kind of better to get the 3 days to a week of yes. We can then really take a hard look at that situation. Yeah. Quickly before we get into news, I have one review up this week. Disintegration. My God.
Disintegration.
I've been up for a while at this point, everyone. It's fine. Disintegration review. So I put that up. It currently has a TBD score on it solely because I beat the campaign, but I cannot play the multiplayer. Not because it's broken, but literally, no, the game's not out yet, so I could not find the match to test. So, and also, even if I could find matches, whenever a game has multiplayer, I'm probably never going to put a score on it until it releases to the public to get that true experience anyway. Anyway, Disintegration is a weird hybrid of a FPS married with a real-time strategy game. It's kind of weird. It sounds like those two things wouldn't work together, and sometimes they really do not work together. And other times they kind of meld well together, and it's sort of fun. But the setup for the game is basically you play this character, a robot. Most of the characters in the games are robots with human minds. That's the whole story. It's about the game has a very environmental message. It's like, hey, 150 years, 200 years into the future, something like that. The planet gets fucked. So scientists are like, to help save the planet's resources, we'll put human minds into robot bodies to help save resources on the planet. And that's apparently works. But then this group goes, that's not good enough, and they want to integrate every single human into a robot, even the ones that don't want to take part in it. And you basically are part of this rebel group of robots trying to help protect what remains of the proper human race and so on and so forth. But then when you go into missions, you fly around on this grav cycle. It's like when you watch gameplay of the game, it kind of looks like you're in some sort of mech, but it's not a mech because like playing on PlayStation, you press L1 or R1 and you can kind of float up or down on the air. It's literally like a bike you're sitting on, and you get different weapons for it. You can shoot, so you can play it like a first-person shooter. However, you die really fast. So you need to use the RTS element, which is you have a squad of 4 people and you can click R1 or whatever, PC, Xbox, however you're playing it, and you can move them behind cover. You can order them to attack enemies. Each of them have their own special abilities like a concussion grenade, a slow ability, mortar barrage, different sorts of ones. And that's like the RTS aspect of being like, hey, squad, go take out the sniper that's nearly one shot hitting me down there. And then you need to come out of cover and you kind of go ham on the goon characters. And you kind of got to mix between, you got to be sort of good at both elements of the game because you definitely can't like sit back and just tell your team to do it all because they die really fast. You die even faster, which makes some of the mini boss fights or boss fights in the game a real fucking pain in the ass. And one of them, I died like fucking 5 or 6 times on it. It was really annoying. In general, the gameplay is really cool when it works and it's really bad when it doesn't work. And you're like trying to get your team to stay behind cover, but there's no way to order them just to stay behind cover, and they keep getting out of cover, and then they keep dying, and I'm like, this game over screen is not my fault. It is your fault, and I should not have to be punished for what you fucking stupid idiots doing. So it's one of those games we're dealing with that AI is often sort of a struggle. I actually kind of enjoyed the story. At first, I wasn't super into it, but as I got towards the end of the game, I was getting quite attached to some of the characters and the general direction the plot was going. And then next second, the credits were rolling, and I was like, that's going to be one of these games where it like sets up a sequel that's more interesting than the original game. However, I'm not set on it actually ever getting a sequel because I don't know how much they're expecting it to sell. So that's quite interesting. But I mean, at the moment, I'd honestly probably be sitting around like a 6-ish, just based on the campaign if I had to score it. If the multiplayer has a lot of potential though, and that's the thing. Like I could see the score going up higher if the multiplayer is as fun as it could be. Because I definitely feel like if you're on an even playing ground against other people who have to deal with shitty AI as well, then, you know, we may enter a middle ground where the multiplayer could be this sort of different fun.
It reminds me a lot of, do you remember Brutal Legend, the Jack Black game that came out that had RTS elements to like the big fights or the big combat around it, and it was really just kind of out of nowhere that this, you know, rock kind of action adventure game all of a sudden had these RTS sections where you would be managing troops and moving people around the battlefields. So I'm glad that people are still trying to do stuff like that, because that was way before its time on what probably should have been possible at the time. Like it was Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 game. So it's interesting that there is, you know, still people trying to strive to get this kind of mesh between things.
Yeah, I enjoy hybrid games though. I really like Brutal Legend actually. I think it's underrated, but kind of like this game, it had lots of problems. Really cool concept, cool gameplay design, story was interesting. Didn't quite all come together, and that's kind of what this is like. But check back. I'll probably talk about the multiplayer and get quickly next week and chuck up my final score. Of course, read the full review, explosionnetwork.com. All right, so let's get into the news. Couple things to go over before we get into the big E3 week stuff later. So the first one is GameIndustry.biz writes AT&T is reportedly in talks to sell gaming division Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment in a deal that would be worth around $4 billion. According to CNBC, potential buyers include Take-Two Interactive, Electronic Arts, and Activision Blizzard, though nothing has been confirmed. Warner Brothers is currently owns a number of studios, including TT Games, Rocksteady, NetherRealm, Monolith Productions, Avalanche, Warner Brothers Games, Boston, Montreal, New York, San Diego, San Francisco, blah, blah, blah. Portkey Games publishing label, which is apparently going to publish that Harry Potter game that everyone is being excited about. And of course, they've got the mobile game out now. They've got the Mortal Kombat, Middle-earth, Scribblenauts series, Arkham, Lego, Harry Potter, Batman, Lego, older Lego things. They're also partnered apparently with IO Interactive, which I don't really understand because they're self-publishing Hitman 3, so it's all very confusing. Nonetheless, if this is true, I mean, it is true. This, like, it's been published everywhere that they're looking to sell, not because Warner Brothers is a bad horse to own. They're a good horse to own. Apparently, those Lego games bring in enough money to really kind of keep Warner Brothers as a game division going alone. They don't even need to do anything else. Apparently, those Lego games just make enough money. The reason they're looking to sell is because AT&T needs to make money, and they're looking to sell something that's worth money. The thing with this though is, if they're looking to sell, any chance that we had of potentially ever seeing the Batman game, the Harry Potter game, probably just went from slim to zero, most likely.
Yep, unless Microsoft swoops in, like right now, like just the odd swoop.
But even then, deals can take months and months to go through lawyers.
But like, it'd be interesting if they could make a deal. If they could make a deal quickly, and then by the end of the show, or by the end of, by the time July comes around, they have Batman as a first party game.
I don't know if they would have the money to, if they're worth around $4 billion. I don't know if Microsoft has that. Like, they've already kind of spent their piggy bank, I think, on developers, I
don't know. They could go to Uncle Bill and be like, hey, Uncle Bill, Unky Bill.
I mean, there's just as much chance that Sony could come in and buy them if we're talking about
I doubt if either of those two, I think Microsoft's more likely to buy them than Sony.
Well, how about
I don't think either are very likely.
No. How about the ones that I mentioned here, the three? Which one do you think is most likely, and which one would you like to actually see? So you got Take-Two, Electronic Arts, or Activision.
I think there's a series of things because I think Activision Blizzard's a very smart buy. That's
one I want the least, though.
But that's the one you want the least. But I think it's the smartest buy because you instantly get World of Warcraft.
They've got nothing. They have no IP really. They're like apart from Call of Duty.
Do you mean Activision? It's Activision Blizzard though.
Yeah. I mean Activision owns Blizzard.
Yeah, but you're buying them together. So I would buy Activision just to get Blizzard.
Other way around. Activision Blizzard is buying Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Right.
Which way did you read this?
Yeah.
Sorry,
which way have you been thinking this?
I don't know.
Do you
why.
think Warner Brothers is trying to buy all these companies?
Warner Brothers is trying to buy Microsoft?
No, I thought it was the other way around. No, don't worry. I had a moment. It's fine.
Activision may buy Warner Brothers.
Oh,
Take-Two
no. I wouldn't want Activision to touch it, no.
So then now Take-Two or Electronic Arts, which one?
Take-Two?
Probably Take-Two.
Take-Two, because I don't want EA anywhere near those freaking franchises.
Yeah, I think I'm on Take-Two as well.
Like,
I don't think they have the money to play ball.
Do you really want Warner Brothers, like the DC kind of stuff, being treated like Star Wars is treated by EA?
No.
Not really. But yeah. I don't think that necessarily means those games are off the table. I mean, Fox movies were still coming out when that deal was going through, so with Disney. So.
Hadn't they already been announced, though?
Yeah, but
it's not about them coming out. Yet. It's not about them coming out when the deal's happening. It's more about if they announce games, it could affect their stock and that could affect their worth and these sorts of things. It's like more on that scale than like, they can't put out something.
Maybe they do announce it, then their stock goes up and then the asking price is higher, I guess.
Nah, you wouldn't do that to anybody though. Like if you were wanting to sell, you would announce that you're wanting to sell after the announcements.
Yeah. Usually, you would assume.
You would do that after the announcements.
Usually, but COVID's like screwed everything up because they would have been at E3 this week apparently, probably announcing stuff.
The rumor was they were supposed to do a conference.
If they really wanted to announce stuff, I'm sure they could have got their way onto Sony or got there somehow. Even talk to Uncle Jeff Keighley and be like, "Hey, Jeff Keighley, can you hook us up?"
You think the people at AT&T are telling the people at Warner Brothers Games what's actually going on?
No.
It could be, but it could be a deal with the executive at Warner Brothers Games to say, "Hey, can you please, if you're going to announce stuff, do it now so we can."
I don't think they have that much forethought.
No, I don't either.
Fair
it's
enough.
a weird situation.
AT&T is notorious for being
shit,
fickle and terrible. Yes,
it's a horrible situation if Rocksteady, for example, was looking to announce their game soon, and now they're kind of, or even the one of the Warner Brothers studios potentially doing the Batman game. I don't really know who's doing it, but if there was that Batman game, which one was it? It was Montreal, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they're the one that teased it, if they were looking to announce it soon, now they can't. It's like they're literally just floundering in the water for potentially months. That's shit. I mean, a bit awkward for everyone involved. We'll see what happens with that though in the future. It's going to be one to keep your eye on for sure. Next story is PC Gamer writes, Ubisoft's Gods and Monsters was briefly playable on Stadia. Gods and Monsters Ubisoft mythological RPG doesn't have a release date yet, but yesterday it went live on Stadia, allowing a few hundred people to play for 30 minutes. Most surprisingly, 300 people. I added that part myself. That's fine. Stadia users spotted a new game on the store named Orpheus, but when they started playing, they were instead treated to a very early build of Gods and Monsters, full of unfinished assets and lots of stand-ins from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Odyssey and Gods and Monsters are from the same team, and the former game's influence is apparent even beyond the temporary reuse of assets. There's the Greek mythology, of course, and the fact that it's an overworld RPG that's full of climbing, and from the looks of things, some pretty striking vistas. There are strong Breath of the Wild vibes too, and unlike Odyssey, how high you can climb will be determined by a stamina gauge. Regretfully, on Thursday morning, we mistakenly made an E3 2019 demo version of Gods and Monsters from Ubisoft playable on the Stadia store that was not intended for public to play, Google told Kotaku. A few hundred gamers were able to play it for less than 30 minutes. We sincerely apologize to our partners at Ubisoft for the mistake. I don't know how this happens. I don't.
You think it's like a movie style, like the game goes up and then it has a cutaway to what happened 5 minutes earlier, and it's just like a series of like unfortunate or unlikely events that led to this being uploaded. Like,
Yeah, but it's not like I don't understand why the PAX demo was even hanging around in
well, it was
Stadia.
the E3 demo from last year, right?
Why was it sitting there that they could accidentally upload it? I don't get it. That's the part that gets
Someone
me.
transferred it in the Google Drive and it ended up on Stadia.
That's what it sounds like.
Unless Ubisoft is planning to have a demo available for Gods and Monsters when they announce it.
This would not be.
No.
If you look at the footage,
No. But like, even if it's just this has been done by mistake, but they were testing it for.
I mean, maybe
when they really want to do it.
If you want to go like highbrow theory, that could be a possible thing. But it definitely wasn't this demo, because this demo has literally, as I said, reused assets, stand-in assets. It's not a demo that you would release to public to try out.
No, definitely not.
This is behind closed doors E3 demo where you show press, because press understand that, they don't see stand-in assets and go, this game's trash and reuse, because that's why you don't release these things to the online things. Either way, I watched the gameplay of what was available of it that I could find. The climbing part is the most Breath of the Wild part. Like when you start climbing stuff, it comes up with that little circle that's in Breath of the Wild, like your stamina gauge, and that is literally what you have when you're climbing around. Other than that, it looks like you'll take missions and you'll head off and you'll fight monsters, and there's going to be like some sort of Greek inspired story and whatever. And like it looks cool, like from what assets are there, like art style direction wise, it does look as interesting as it looked in that reveal trailer from E3 last year. We might be seeing something. I presume we'll be seeing something from it next month during Ubisoft's whatever that thing's called first. I think Ubisoft Forward. That's it.
Forward, yeah.
Ubisoft Forward, which is sometime early. I can't remember the date off the top of my head, but sometime early next month. I expect we'll see more then. Maybe a demo. I don't know. But either way, what a weird story. I just don't understand how that happens. But talking about things leaking early, Star Wars Squadrons briefly appears on the Xbox homepage, writes Kotaku. It appears a new Star Wars game has leaked a little early based on a large advertisement that appeared on the official Xbox website today. The splash image has since been removed, but not before the internet notice. Then it was updated because, of course, something leaked, and EA was like, well, fuck, now we're going to say something. Then EA tweeted out the picture of the splash image itself, the proper Star Wars Squadrons one, and they tweeted out, pilots want to tune in for the reveal trailer of Star Wars Squadrons this Monday, June 15th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. That is tomorrow. This is out Monday. It's tomorrow, Tuesday morning at 1 a.m.
Tuesday morning.
Is when the trailer is going to drop for this. So it's only going to be a trailer. This is probably going to come out, I would presume, at the end of this year, because that would probably make sense. This is, of course, Project Maverick. There's no way it's not, which is the leaks rumored. There was legit leaks, and then there was rumors about this game. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. I know it's not the VR X-Wing game that I've been desiring for some time this around. And the reason I'm excited about it is because the reason that people like Nick are probably going to get annoyed about this is because I'm well aware this is going to be more of a
arcadey experience.
I was going to say cinematic Star Wars X-Wing, a fighter
this isn't
game.
Star Wars fighter sim.
Yeah, this isn't Star Wars flight sim, and I don't want that. I do not want that. Another thing I'll say is if they can expand and build upon the fighter combat from the Battlefront games, I'm all about that, because I'm actually one of a few small people, maybe, I don't know, but I always enjoyed that part of the Battlefront in Battlefront 1. I enjoyed it in Battlefront 2. It was very simplistic, but it was fun. It sounded great. All the music, the sound effects, fucking blowing shit up. Great. If they want to take that and expand upon it into a full game where the multiplayer mode has way more systems and weapons and customizable X-Wings and all this sort of shit, I'm 100% all about that.
Let me play as a TIE fighter because TIEs make the coolest noises.
Oh, they will for sure let you play as both in the story. The one thing I do have a question about is, so if they're going to do a single player game, which there will be a single player aspect because they will not do a multiplayer only game because that went down like hot spuds in a winter day when the Battlefront 1 came out. So that they're not going to do that again, you know. So but judging by a teaser trailer thing we have here, you know, U-wings, X-wings flying up, TIE fighters, fucking whatever else, starships. It's obviously set during OG days, or at least the what do you call it? The original trilogy, whatever the fuck. Yeah. The OG trilogy days, which I think is kind of disappointing because personally I just kind of want to move on. Or do something. Like I would love for this to be set. I would rather it actually be set during the prequels or something. That'd be more exciting to me personally, but I know that would piss off more people or whatever. But whatever, cool. Anyone else have any hopes and expectations for this?
I'd like it to continue on or have some kind of lore that has some kind of pull through from or small links to Battlefront would be really cool, like especially the Battlefront 2 storyline. I think that'd be nice.
So this would have to be set. So this is set. Then it would be set between 6 and.
Yeah, it'd be set later. 7. But other than that, as long as it's as long as it plays well and it doesn't feel like the campaign is an afterthought.
No. Well, I mean, my big question is it only ever going to be in the ships? Or is it going to be, you're in the ships, but there's going to be some combat outside?
I doubt it. Yeah. I think you're asking a lot there for them to do that on top of it, because then it would be like, well, why isn't this a Battlefront game?
Well, how about no combat, but just like let you explore like ship bases? Just have a look around. Third person?
Walk around a hangar.
Something? Yeah. What do you want from this, Ash? What are you expecting? Either way.
Yeah, I'm expecting some sort of single player campaign, probably following the rebels, and then you'll have options to fly planes during all the different eras of Star Wars.
So it's not like a proper story. This is like something that's jumping around.
No, the main story will be during OG trilogy, but then you'll have the option in multiplayer.
Okay.
Yeah. And they'll chuck in pod racing for fun.
Nah. Still waiting for that.
Timed exclusive.
Still waiting for that damn remaster game to come out. It kept getting delayed. Still hasn't come out. All about it. Yeah, cool. So we'll talk about more, of course, next week's episode.
Next week. Yep.
Weirdly, it's annoying that this comes out and then like literally 24 hours later the trailer's out, but whatever. But the good thing is the trailer drops Tuesday. EA plays on Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember. One of those mornings. 9 o'clock.
Saturday morning.
It's 9 o'clock Saturday. Cool.
I think it's Saturday morning because it would make sense to be Friday. 18th is Friday for that.
Yeah.
It'd be Friday for us because 18th is Thursday.
No, it's definitely a weekend. I remember it being a weekend here. So it's probably Friday night there. America Day.
That would make sense. Yeah. No, it'd be Thursday. Well, if it's the 18th, it'll be Thursday.
No. So it'll be Friday for us. Same time as like the PlayStation thing was.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Dylan. Sure. Jeez. Don't tell me that the 18th is not Thursday.
Oh, it is. Friday, 9 a.m. There you go. Cool. Get excited.
Sorry, guys. I won't watch that. I'll be busy.
Oh, yeah. Really? Would you? You're like, nah, won't stop. Well, I can't stop playing The Last of Us.
Well, no, because it depends how much I've played. The thing is, how long do I play from midnight onwards? And then when do I sleep?
You don't start sleeping until you've died a couple of times in a row.
So early?
You know, because you're too tired to keep playing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. I see this. I see this, Ash.
All right, so let's talk about some games that we've been playing. Firstly, I played Metro Last Light, the second Metro game. I played the first one.
But this isn't the latest one, right? This is
the second
newest one was Exodus, right?
Exodus, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Exodius. Which I got. Haven't started yet. Probably won't start until after Last of Us, because at this stage, I feel like I could start it and like obviously not finish it. But I don't want to do that, especially because even as I was playing this one, this is the thing I thought as I started playing this game. I was like 5-6 hours in. I'm like, is playing a game about the end of the world due to a disease in the lead up to another game, which is super depressing about the end of the world due to a disease, the smartest idea? Probably not. But at that stage, I was kind of committed to doing it. So I probably need to find something happier to play between now and The Last of Us at the end of the week. But nonetheless, I had fun playing it. The story is hit or miss, I think, for me. Some of the characters are boring, especially the bad guys. Some of the more interesting good guy characters you don't get to spend enough time with. But it is kind of old. I mean, it's not super old, but it is like, it's like 5-6 years old, something probably at this point, which is long enough. I feel surprising. It still looks pretty fucking good. And I mean, I know the developers are known for making good looking PC games. That's kind of the Metro thing. Metro Exodus has
Exodus,
ray tracing.
not Exodius.
It's Exodus.
Exodia.
It's Exodus.
Obliterate.
It's Exodus. That has ray tracing, so I was like using
Dylan's buzzword of.
Yeah, it's my favorite buzzword. It is my favorite buzzword for sure. Especially now that I can use ray tracing, it's fun. So I can get more excited about it. But no, I had fun. The shooting's fun. I remember the first one. I know this is kind of blasphemy because I know a lot of people prefer the first one over both the second and third one, because with the second one, they kind of toned down more of the hardcore survival siminess shit. And Nick saw I was playing it and he messaged me and he's like, oh, I was kind of disappointed by it. I'm like, of course you were. Of course you were. Because
it's not Tarkov levels of loading bullets into clips. Sorry.
When the game came out, I remember reading reviews and stuff and people were complaining because they're like, oh, because in the original, it would take way longer to reload guns. You'd run out of resources more. That you would have to like spend way longer recharging a light and all this sort of stuff. Now, reloading guns in this game still isn't fast. It is faster. You still have to recharge your light. You still get like blood and splatter across your helmet, and you have to click a button to wipe it off in the middle of fights, whereas you literally can't see what it's shooting at. You still die pretty fast. So it is like, it's not Call of Duty, but it's definitely not as hardcore as the first game was. And I feel like they were trying to hit a middle ground so they could get more people to play the game without being super turned off. But in turn, the hardcore people that loved the first one were suddenly like, oh, you've abandoned us. And they're like, how dare you try and get more people to buy your game? Weren't we good enough for you?
Like, definitely from an outside perspective, Last Light was a lot more commercial than the first installment. And then again, I think Exodus was even another step further to be
that
more
one's like
commercial.
Open world-ish or something, I think.
Yes.
I don't know too much about it, but I know a lot of people then were like, oh man.
It was very big. I remember it was a big thing at the E3 that it was like before it was initially released. That wasn't normally a thing. Like it was shown at one of the conferences for either Xbox or Microsoft or PlayStation.
I think it was a Microsoft. I remember the first trailer they showed for it. I remember being like, damn, I should go back and play the Metro games because they had this trailer and he's like walking around outside and he gets attacked by this giant monster and it like seemed super action packed. And I always remember thinking, damn, like, because I'd started this game twice before. I think this is the third time I'd gone back to try and do it. And the reason I never got super far is because I think the first couple of hours are kind of a slog. Not only is it depressing, I mean, the whole game is kind of depressing. It's not as depressing as the first one, but like, I remember when the first game came out, I remember watching Barjo reviewing it on Good Game.
Mm-hmm.
That's how old the first game was. And I remember him just describing the game as depressing, and it is not wrong. The whole games are just depressing because it's just like fucking Russian people just complaining the entire game. That is the synopsis for these games. It's just Russian people complaining about life because, and I mean, fair enough, it is fucked. Shit is up shit creek, it's the end of the world. But they're not super, there's no point in any of these games so far where it's like they give you a moment of hope. And there's two endings for the game. I feel like I got the bad one. I'm pretty sure I got the bad one that isn't canon going into the third game. Because spoilers, my character, which is alive for the third game, he died in the ending I got. And it's a super depressing ending. And I'm like, cool, I guess. Like I did that entire game. It was like 15 hours.
Did you?
He dies.
Have you looked up like what you had to do to get the good ending?
Oh yeah, I had to make choices that I wasn't aware were actually even choices that affected anything. So that's great. You know, like it doesn't come up Telltale wise and be like, hey,
This is a choice that affects
they will
gameplay
remember
going
this.
ahead.
Yeah. But the one thing I will say is because as I said, I tried several times. First couple hours are a slog. Not just the depressing stuff, but also just the level design. You're just in these sewers, lots of slow meandering, slowly taking down enemies, especially because at the start of the game you don't have many guns or anything like that. And it's like the stealth sections are like you better stealth them because if you get spotted, you're most likely going to just get shit fucked on and die pretty fast. And early in the game specifically, the further you get into the game, as you upgrade your guns, get more guns, whatever else, they do start getting in more action heavy sequences. And there are several sequences in this game that are pretty cool, that are more reminiscent of like fighting the big monster that I saw in the Exodia trailer. So so they do exist in this game for people that were wondering. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna play the third one. That goes to the next thing. Will I do it next? Will I do it not? Because at the moment I've currently got this thing where I played Rise of Tomb Raider, right? And I was like, oh, I won't play Shadow straight away because I'll try and do some other things so I don't feel Tomb Raidered out. So now I've got Shadow I also want to do this year to top off that trilogy. But now that I've played this one, now I've got like the third Metro game also that I'm like, I can get that before the end of the year, fine time. Yeah. But also we're about to hit the point where maybe I won't have as much spare time. Who knows if, you know, unless all the games get delayed more. I don't know what's happening. The world's a fucking mess. Anyway, the other thing that I played and finished that I won't spend much time on because I'll discuss more of it on this upcoming episode of Platinum Explosion because that's more relevant there. But I did finally play Uncharted Lost Legacy. So now I'm allowed to officially host the PlayStation podcast once again because I've played all the Uncharted games. Everyone good job, me. Good job. Thank you.
Finally.
It is good. But I would only put it above the original Uncharted, like in my ranking.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Because the characters are fun. The gameplay stuff is cool, but like from a story perspective and like
I remember the writing
stuff,
gets
it's
really
like
weird towards the end of it.
Yeah, just a lot of stuff just feels
like when Sam gets tacked in there, you're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. Right.
Sure. The back end of the game, the design is really cool and exciting, but at the same time, I'm like, been here, done this, or like this is a rehash of the train from Uncharted 2, but they do it better, but it still just feels like a rehash. It is better.
Like, this is much better.
But it is a rehash. So it's like not as exhilarating. So yeah, Uncharted Lost Legacy. Now, Ciaran, you finished Final Fantasy Remake. What are your thoughts? No spoilers, of course, still.
No spoilers, none at all. I was very down on this game when I finished. Because overall it's a beautiful game. It plays really well. I really like the combat in the game. I thought it was really fun. Overall the narrative's is amazing, or I at least thought it was pretty good when I first finished it. I just felt like there was a lot of padding in the game of just like extended sections that just weren't needed, that were just kind of extending the length. I think my game time for the end was 33 hours. And I think if I dropped 5 to 10 hours off that, I think it would have been a really perfect experience. I just think there's a couple sections that just felt like kind of forced into the game or extended too much in the game that just kind of felt me the wrong way. Like there was, even in the last couple sections, just because of the gameplay loop and some of the stuff that was happening and some issues I was having with checkpoints, that towards the end I was literally just thinking, can this just end already? Like, and I don't want to think that. Like, I hate that I thought that, like, even at all. Like, that the gameplay and the grind and that loop of what was happening in the last couple of chapters or sections of the game. And I think even in some stages, like, you know, it would affect the narrative a little bit, where you would have a massive moment, and then instead of just for like pushing that momentum of having a massive moment, it would then be like, oh, now we're going to do this like dungeon-like area. It's like, why aren't we just moving on with the narrative and escalating it? Like it was just very weird. Overall, though, I think especially once I went away and read some of the stuff that I wasn't quite across when I was playing it and understood some of the stuff happening, I think I now look back at it as a much better experience than when I looked at it as soon as I ended. Like, I was a little bit frustrated with, like, I wanted to love the game. There was just these moments that were stopping me from loving it. But looking back at it, looking at the experience, looking at what Square has done, I think it's overall, it's still a really, like, it's one of my favorite stories I've played this year, even if it's a remake, and I think I would have been kind of pushing for this to be higher up in the Game of the Year talk if it didn't have those couple hours of padding in there.
Sometimes I forget that game came out this year, to be honest.
Yeah, it did.
Like, that's how long this year feels at points. But yeah, what would you give it then if you were scoring it?
I'd give it an 8.5 at the moment. Like I'm still really happy.
It's funny because you sound more down on it, but I gave it an 8.
I'm. The thing is, the reading what the narrative not changes, but the narrative things that they did with the game, that Square did with the game, I fucking love. I'm so like when I read it, when I read about it and listened to some people talking about it and explaining it, it was like kind of opened my mind to like a whole section. And I love it when games do that, where there is another element to a narrative that is really revealing of what's going on. I enjoyed some of the changes they made. I enjoyed some of the gameplay story elements that they changed or altered, so you'd be playing more of a different section. Like, of course, it's like, you know, they extended a section of the game that takes somewhere between 6 to 8 hours into a 30+ hour game. Like, originally it was 6 to 8 hours in Midgar.
Have you played the original or like?
I never remember. I've definitely played it. I've definitely played through all of Midgar. I cannot remember how far.
Because most people, there's a majority. Like, I feel like a lot of people like. I played up to the end of the first disc and I didn't get further or something. You know, like.
Yes, yeah, definitely like that. Like I've never finished the entire game. I was excited to see, like, honestly, I got chills a number of times just seeing Cloud in this game. Like, just having Cloud fully fulfilled and being more of a character and having more development to Cloud and having, you know, I love Aerith even more. Like, I even have even more of a connection with Aerith now than I think I would have just playing the original game. I think it helps a lot having, like, proper full voice acting and having detailed character models and having the game look as stunning as it does. Like, that game, there's some moments where the environments to that game are truly breathtaking and special. So I think I do whinge a little bit about the padding of that game because of how much it frustrated me. But at the same time, I still really loved it as an experience.
Now, I just want to point out something. Since you've had such a tumultuous relationship with the ending of this game, I finished this and was unable to talk to anyone about it for like a week.
That's the thing, right? This is the thing where this is once again, because I made the decision to play Persona over playing this, where I'm kind of like, at the same time, I'm like, I wish I could have talked about this when it was out in that initial window. Like, it's one of those games where I'm like, damn, I wish I could have been on our spoiler cast for it. Damn, I wish I could have been talking about the hype and how incredible the ending is. Like, it's one of those things where I do have that feeling of missing out after I finished it, because I was like, oh, well, everybody already knows this. And I say things to people like, yeah, duh. Why didn't you know this like 3-4 weeks ago?
Yeah. Well, Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part Deuce. You can be on that spoiler cast.
Yay!
2028. I don't know.
Wow, as if.
Mate, who knows?
Oh, gosh.
Who knows at this point? All right, let's do check-in with Ciaran's whiteboard time.
Oh, good.
It is
well,
June.
Yeah, if everyone remembers. Speaking of things feeling like they didn't happen this year or so far away, I was checking on my whiteboard today because at the start of the year, if you knew the show, I made, well, it was like the end of last year. It was after the Game Awards last year. I made a quote-unquote board of shame of just wrote down as many games on that either I wanted to finish or I wanted to buy and play that I hadn't done, and then we just kind of sat there. And I had a feeling, I was like, I feel like I've done quite a few of these now. So I pulled it out. I've checked. Dylan and me did a quick kind of flick through the past episodes just to double check that I was like, I wanted to at least do 5 of these before the end of the year or before PAX, because we were like, yeah, PAX is going to happen. There's not going to be a pandemic that ruins the possibility of a convention like PAX, right?
This podcast was only in January. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Looking through, I've actually, from the whiteboard, I have finished off Persona 5, Days Gone, Life is Strange, Concrete Genie, and Control. So that's 5 games from that board that I had wanted. So I've done my quota. I've done my quota already of what I said. Listening to that, it's really funny. Dylan and me, while we were waiting before the episode, were listening back to that podcast, and just some of the comments I made about the game, that I singled out Persona and was like, I'm never going to finish that. Like, there's no chance of me ever finishing that. And that is the biggest one I finished so far of the list. So, and then there's like, I've already looked at this list, and Death Stranding's on this list, and I'm like, I'm never going back to Death Stranding.
How far did you get, by the way? Do you know roughly?
Not far. I remember doing the.
No, Ash never finished it either. It's fine.
I'm way less behind Ash though. I'm like getting on the bike. I have the bike, and I can go. I'm like my main.
You
story
have the
mission
bike.
I have the
That's
bike.
your like point of.
No. So it was like the main story mission to go like to the next city, like next to the lake or the water or something. And I was like, man, I can just take the bike through the next section. And I think I tried it once and then failed. It was like it was like leaving the first, like the base outside of like the wind farm and stuff where you were staying.
You going to like the farm or something?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, I was going to the farm. I think it was. I can't remember. It's been ages.
It's reasonably early on.
It's not that far.
Sounds
like,
reasonably early.
Yeah. No, it's reasonably not that far. Jedi Fallen Order, I don't know if I'll ever get to. God of War, I just need to go back to that game and play it on easy. Gears of War 5, I'm waiting for
Wait, pause. How far did you get in Jedi Fallen Order?
Jedi Fallen Order? I can't remember. I can't remember at all.
Not far.
Not far. Not heaps. Not heaps. Gears of War 5, I'm waiting for Dylan, because we're going to play through Gears after we finish Halo. I've played the Halo series with Dylan, and we are a game and a bit into that, so we need to keep doing streams on that one.
Twitch.tv/Explosion Network.
Exactly. I've got Pokemon Sword on here. Good thing I didn't write Pokemon Shield. Maybe I'll eventually get to that if there's like a break of nothing, because maybe. And then Witcher 3, I'm kind of on the fence about. Maybe someday if there's like another month when nothing comes out.
At what point do you just commit to like crossing some of these off and just be like, nah, never going to happen?
Oh, no. I'm going to rub off Death Stranding. I'm going to redo this list after this podcast where I kind of fix this up and add some more stuff that I want to play and finish. Resident Evil 2 Remake still on there, which I do want to go back to. I did Resident Evil 3 Remake. So I should go back and play Resident Evil 2 now. And then the last one, which I'm currently playing, because if you haven't listened to our freaking Platinum Explosion PlayStation 5 reveal event discussion with the three of us and friend of the show, Buddy, we discussed Horizon Zero Dawn. Well, it's not Horizon Zero Dawn anymore.
It's Horizon Forbidden West.
Forbidden West?
Well, that's
or Horizon
sequel,
Forbidden West, whatever.
Yeah.
The sequel, and we talked about how I'd never finished Horizon.
And we laughed.
Then everybody's like... Everybody laughed, and everybody's like, well, you're not going to finish the first game, so whatever. And so I'm currently 10 hours into the game again after I restarted after getting laughed at. I realized I did not play that game very much at all, and I remembered why. I was quickly reminded while playing the game what happened. Because while playing it on Saturday morning, I got to a section, like the first bit where you actually do some climbing in the game. And I started doing the climbing and I was like, oh, that's right. Breath of the Wild came out and I was like, man, if Horizon Zero Dawn was like Breath of the Wild, it'd be so much better. And then stopped playing Horizon and just went and played Breath of the Wild. So yeah, I'm much further. Like I was easily much further than where I'd got through to. The fact that, as I said to Dylan beforehand, I popped a trophy about getting 10 stealth kills while I was playing this time. So I'm like, man, either I was playing this game extremely wrong, or I was not very far at all. So I'm enjoying it. I think it's pretty good overall. I think the stealth is a little bit like, I love playing stealth in games, but I feel like I've had several occasions where I have like plotted out attacking something, like an enemy camp or something, and I've literally taken one shot at something, and then something else instantly is like, hey, you over there, and I'm like, wait, what? How did God damn it. And then it just breaks into chaos anyway. And, it's fine. But overall, I'm really enjoying it. I am going to finish it, if not out of enjoyment, out of spite for you two.
I figured it was spite the moment I think I saw you start it that afternoon after we recorded or something.
After spite, I've even looked at like Frozen Wilds is only $20. I'm going to go finish that after I finish this.
You've got a chance of beating the Frozen Wilds, because the reason I can't do it is because I remember reading a review for it, and the biggest complaint I've seen from everyone is the enemies in that are quite hard, and if you haven't played the game for so long, everyone was complaining. They were like starting it and they were like, I can't fucking play this game because it doesn't retell you the controls, and all of a sudden you're just kind of thrown into a deep end, like you're supposed to just magically remember how to play. And I was like, this sounds like a nightmare. I can't be going through this.
So yeah, I want to play, because apparently I've heard from people that Frozen Wilds is fairly important to number 2 coming
it's
up,
literally about her leaving and beginning the journey west. So
west, okay, yeah. So I'm excited to play those. Yes, of course, I'm starting this week, but I'll definitely be stopping to play The Last of Us. That's planned. I've got a week off work, so
maybe you get hooked.
Nah, Ashley, there's no way you can suggest that to me.
There's no way you can suggest that to me, he says.
Horizon was pretty great.
Horizon's good, but like I'm at the point with Last of Us where I'm like dodging reviews. I'm dodging everything.
Do you have anything muted, or are you just dodging?
I'm just dodging. Okay. Like I don't even have anything muted. Yeah. I'm like so like I just haven't seen any of the comments of like people trying to spoil it or anything. I laughed because I was watching the PlayStation 5 reveal event on Twitch, and they had the chat in emote only mode. So I was like, okay, good. That's another, avoiding people spoiling the game. I'm just, the only thing I've really seen is people giving it 10s, or like, I think I saw Alana Pierce saying that the embargo is kind of stopping them from talking about one of the biggest problems in the game. So other than that, I'm like, dark on it. I haven't watched any trailers in ages, or I think there was something about a TV spot I almost saw the other day. I went, nope, not just avoid that, because I'm pretty in the dark about it.
That was cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing to do with the actual game.
That's not spoiling.
It's literally kind of like a CG,
just a mood piece.
Yeah, it's a mood piece. It doesn't show anything.
Okay,
it's cool though.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I would watch that.
They got in trouble for that though.
Yeah, they ripped off a song or whatever. It's fine. Naughty Dog's great at ripping off assets, and it's fine. That's what they do. Yeah, I've got it all muted on Twitter.
They didn't give credit to somebody in an ad.
Yeah.
I saw them like tweet out about it afterwards, giving credit to somebody. I didn't know context or anything, but I did see.
Yeah, so they did a cover of a song sung by Ashley Johnson as Ellie, but the arrangement of that song was done by somebody else, like initially, that they used, and they didn't credit or compensate that person.
Right.
It was rather confusing, to be honest. But it's funny, when the reviews dropped, I didn't see any, because I have all the words muted.
Yep, really?
No, I didn't see any.
Okay.
But I've got a Twitter list or whatever thing. They let you on Twitter now like slide across between lists you've got set up. So I have one called like Explosion Network. Well, at least on the iOS app. Like I can slide between my homepage, and like you can slide across and like set it so you can see different people. So I've got one called Explosion Network where I just have everyone from the Explosion Network. And it only shows all of our Twitters and your Twitters, right? So I can easily find and see what you motherfuckers doing. And then I can slide across. No, I just go for a not like everyone shit usually.
All right, so I'll just retweet all the Last of Us reviews is what you're saying.
No. I still won't see them unless I purposely go to thing. But no, I went across, and then I've got another one next to that where I've got like our friends and shit. So like that's where I saw like Well Played and Player 2 reviews and pop up. And that's when I was like, I like these, but I'm not opening them. Sorry, guys. But that's the only way I saw them is.
I'm fine with the headline.
Yeah, I'm like, I liked it. I liked it. Cool, sounds great. But other than that, on my Twitter homepage, it is void of anything, and it would have been blowing up if I didn't have the words muted. I'm sure, but I had just nothing. I found it hilarious. It hit like embargo
the
time.
One person.
Like, hey,
the person not scared of anything has been interesting watching the reaction to the reviews so far.
Who, you?
Yeah, I haven't been. I obviously don't care about Last of Us that much, but seeing the reaction, obviously, it's been interesting. Anybody who's given it a 10 has been called a shill, who's been bought off by Sony, and anyone who's given it
pretty much everybody.
Not a perfect. And anybody who has said it's not a perfect game has been also shunned. So
Cool.
you know,
I'm gonna give it a
can't
6.
please anybody.
I'm gonna give it a 6. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to see spoilers, but also I'm just not reading anyone's reviews because I'm gonna review it. So
yeah.
I don't.
Not really reviews. The only thing, I saw Alana's tweet about it saying that, hey, even though there are things people can't talk about that are problems with the game, she still is like, everybody's still giving it a 10 because they believe it's a 10.
Yeah.
Not because they paid off or because the problems they can't talk about. It's nothing to do with that.
Interesting. I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit next show. Maybe. Well, we'll give brief impressions. I don't know. Probably.
Yeah.
Don't know when we're recording. How long we'll be in. Kieran's probably fucking finished it by the time we record next episode.
Probably. I probably will have
30 hours straight.
Smashed it out. Yeah.
Smash it out. I'll be a husk of. I could legit do it, I reckon.
You'll get to be
'Cause
on the spoiler cast for once, Kieran.
I know, right? How amazing is that? I'm so excited. I'm going to be on the spoiler cast in the Exposure Network again.
So proud of you.
Woo!
Right, so it is E3 week 1, or kind of feels like it anyway. I gotta be honest. For me, this last 24 hours has felt the most E3 like, and by that I mean I've been up at all hours watching fucking streams. That's what E3 usually feels like. So that's what the E3 at home experience feels like. You know, up at weird hours.
You strategically plan your sleep times and when you've got to be back up for another show that happens later in the day.
Yes. So although we haven't had the massive, I haven't had to do that for anything massive, because what we're going to be talking about is a Guerrilla Collective, PC Gaming Show, and the Future Gaming Show. None of those are your Xbox, Nintendo Directs, your PlayStation E3 things, or whatever. Just the general sleep schedule aspect of everything has felt the most E3 to me. So that's why I'm officially saying it feels like E3. But first, I do want to say, before we get into the new stuff, we did cover all of it, of course, during the thing Ciaran mentioned previously, the bonus episode, Platinum Explosion, that went up on Friday last week, where we covered the PlayStation 5 event where they showed off the console. They announced Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, fucking bunch of other cool things. Horizon Forbidden West, of course, as we're talking about. Hitman 3, all these other really cool things. So if you want to hear us talk about that, but I just want to say, a couple days on, in case anyone's wondering what my pick currently from that show, it's easily Bug Snacks. I cannot get that fucking song out of my head.
It's great. I've rewatched it a couple times. I have rewatched
2 trailers from this thing. 3, sorry. I've watched Bug Snacks 3 times, showing different people. I've watched Little Devil Inside twice, just for myself, because that is also funny. And then I've also rewatched the trailer for what's the dinosaur one? Fuck, what's the name?
Demon Souls?
What? Not
Did you say Demons?
No, the dinosaur thing.
Oh, Dinosaur. I thought you said the Dark Souls one.
No, what the hell? Goodbye Volcano High. Right, so I've watched that twice as well.
Okay.
Just to feel sadder the second time around. You'll get that joke if you go listen to Platinum Explosion. But one thing I did notice, that the only reason I wanted to bring up the PlayStation thing again is I do find it so interesting. Reveal PlayStation 5. It was exciting in the moment, seeing Spider-Man, Horizon, whatever. Days later, what are the games I'm thinking about the most? Indie shit. Like, you know,
it's been interesting seeing the quote unquote fallout of the PlayStation event with things that maybe people didn't fully understand coming out of that event, especially, you know, everybody talking about Miles Morales and what that was, and the PlayStation executive, you know, saying that it's a DLC, but that's not true at all, and all that. And then you had Jason Schreier coming out and tweeting about how many of those games will be available on other consoles and not just PlayStation, which is a fair few of them, honestly, actually.
Majority of those Bethesda ones are probably time console exclusive, but they're just calling it console exclusive for now because they are console exclusive for now. They said Death Stranding is a PlayStation exclusive. It was at the time. I don't know how the fuck the wording is. Any of this shit works anymore. Doesn't matter. Whatever.
Yeah.
If Deathloop's a PlayStation exclusive for a year, it's a PlayStation exclusive for a year.
They never said that all these games were exclusive to PlayStation.
No, but I think it was just discussing that, you know, people's viewpoint on that show was everything there was a PlayStation game. Where I think it was
you'll be
just
able to play it on PlayStation.
PlayStation only game. I think is all the discussion that Jason was trying to lead was that, hey, this isn't all PlayStation. That's I think doesn't matter. It's whatever. But yeah.
Anyway, that's the PlayStation thing. Once again, Platinum Explosion bonus episode. 3 of us, Buddy Watson. Go listen to it if you want to hear all of our full thoughts on that. It's like a 2-hour massive Platinum Explosion episode. All right, let's get into the new stuff that's happened over the last couple of days. I know I asked him before we started recording. He didn't watch any of these properly. Ash, have you watched any of these things properly?
Yes, I watched all of them.
You watched all of them?
Yeah.
Did you like binge watch them when you woke up or some shit?
Yeah. That's pretty much what happened.
That's like fucking...
That was a mistake. I didn't realize the PC one was so long. At
least you could skip through stuff, I guess, if you're like, oh, this is boring.
No, I was just like on my phone and stuff for certain parts.
So I can actually get your opinion on the overall structure for...
That's if I remember stuff, because let's be honest, it was kind of a blur, to be honest.
Look, you try watching these.
I mean, you're probably just as bad because they were all grouped kind of close together. They all kind of bled into each other.
That was weird. So we're going to do them in order. So first one, Guerrilla Collective Day 1. So this one is weird because originally I think everyone collectively thought that this was going to be one stream, and then all of a sudden, like a couple days ago, they're like, no, wait, it's 3 days, 3 streams, not like 1 day, 1 stream, then 2 more days of bonus video content. Anyway, nonetheless, Day 1, Guerrilla Collective. This is basically the Kind of Funny showcase evolved and partnered up, and now this is what you've got, the Guerrilla Collective.
Yes.
Greg Miller's still hosting it, co-hosting it. It's still just a bunch of trailers, majority of which are smaller indie games. But if you've watched the Kind of Funny showcase the last 2 years, this is it's structurally the same sort of thing. I'm going to say right now, this is my favorite of the 3. Like from a structure standpoint, pacing wise and everything like that. Of course, not all of the games I was super in love with. You're never going to fall in love with all the games in these things. But this was the one I felt the pacing was the best, and it didn't go for too long. Whereas the PC gaming one went for fucking years, this one was fine. What? How about you, Ash? What do you?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I think it was probably well put together. I don't know if you watched it, but then I think I'd kind of tied it in with the Paradox.
I just include that straight after. Yeah, they didn't cut out. That's in this, as far as I'm concerned. So
I guess, but if you add that, it's not as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like an epilogue. So I'm like, whatever. It's its own thing. It's an epilogue to this. Whatever, like you can ignore it. If you cut that off the end, then ignore it. Then yeah, it's fine. Now,
it definitely felt like the Kind of Funny showcases from the last couple of years. It definitely felt like that.
They've always had a thing about, let's just trailer. Let's not spend too long bullshitting in between.
Yes.
Not too many unnecessary game developer interviews that get boring or any of that kind of thing. I will point out when we get to the future game show, the reason that I don't put that above this is for one particular thing, and I'll point out that out when we get to it. So you think you know what it is?
I think I know what it is.
It's going to be... because I thought that was for like the first quarter of that, half of that, I was like, this is gonna fucking, but then it shot itself in the fucking foot pretty fast. So we're gonna run down the games. I'm gonna name them. If I have something to say about it, I'm gonna talk about it. If anyone else has something to talk about, then we stop on it. Either way, we're just gonna run down the games because there's too many in this. There's too many in the next one. There's too many in the next one. Fuck it. But we'll go down the list. So the first thing they have is System Shock Remake. There's a demo for it. You can download it. You can play it. It looked cool. It looked very alpha-y, but that's because it is an alpha game. When in the gameplay, they were clearly shooting enemies at times, and they were apparently not hitting them. And I'm like, that's awkward to watch in a trailer. But anyway, I've never played any of the System Shocks. I've owned two forever. Here's the first one. It's Remake. If anyone wants to get excited about it, cool. XO 1, I'm still hiring. This was in the Kind of Funny showcase last year, first year, I can't remember. I think.
Yes.
It was at PAX as well, I believe. I didn't get to play it though. I think 1 year, maybe last year, maybe before. I don't even remember. I'm always intrigued by this game because it just looks super chill and relaxing. I don't know what the goal is. I still don't even understand the game, and I've seen it several times. All I know is from a gameplay point of view, it's doing some crazy things with like physics and these sorts of things, and it just looks super chill and fun to play. Where you basically just play this frisbee bowl object, and you're just kind of just gliding through worlds and stuff. I don't really know. It's you have to watch it. You're either going to be like, that's for me, or it's not for you. I'm down for it. The next game was Almighty Kill Your Gods. It's a co-op fucking game that looks like it's ripping off Monster Hunter or something.
Like more like Dauntless, I think.
Yeah, Dauntless combined with Monster Hunter, I guess. You got to fucking kill some things.
Looks like it looks a little bit like is it you're playing as the monster as well though? So
No, you just play one. No? You can play up to 4-player co-op. It says hunt demons, monsters, and gods, solo or online with friends in its action RPG. You are an alpha, a magical warrior. And you fight monsters. I mean, it looked fine, but not enough to be like, yeah, that's my next,
of course.
My next co-op experience. The next game is Standout Roki. I've seen this one before. I think it was in the showcase last year. No, hold on. It was in Nintendo Direct. I just remembered, actually. It was in a Nintendo Direct last year. I originally saw this. We've finally got a release date for it. It's coming out the 24th of July, so it's soon. Switch version also going to come sometime in the future. Descriptions for the game is Roki is an adventure game inspired by Scandinavian folklore, a dark contemporary fairy tale underpinned by a touching narrative, an alluring art style, ancient puzzles, and atmospheric exploration. Great art style. Looks like a fun adventure game with puzzles and stuff like that. I'm super intrigued by this one. The next game I was highly intrigued by. It's called Lake.
This is the game, when I've been scrolling through, this is the game that's intrigued me the most.
I'm not even memeing. I think it looks a lot of fun.
No, me either.
So it's called Lake, which I think is a terrible name for it, but that's fine. It says, description reads, it's 1986. Meredith Weiss takes a break from her career in the big city to deliver mail in her hometown. How will she experience 2 weeks in beautiful Providence Oaks with its iconic lake and quirky community? And what will she do next? It's up to you. So the trailer literally shows this lady driving around in a mail truck. And she's like delivering mail. And then she stops at a hotel. And then there's another part where she's like camping with people and interacting with them. It really does seem like the game's just like explore, interact with people, you know, have fun. It looks fun. Legit. This was a standout from the whole thing to me.
Is this a plausible thing? Is this a thing that happens? People go places and just deliver mail for 2 weeks?
I guess she obviously applied for the real job. Like,
she probably knows somebody, has an in.
Yeah, it's a hometown.
This game gives me like the same kind of melancholy vibes as like playing The Last of Us, or even like how like the end of Persona felt. Like not The Last of Us. Sorry. I was like, freaking what? Not The Last of Us. Life is Strange. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, okay.
It's
comparable.
Another L starting game. It gives me the same kind of. I know by the end of this game, I'm going to be like fucking sad or like feel like I'm saying goodbye to something.
Yeah, it definitely feels like you're going to have an experience playing it. You know.
Yes.
And then you come out the other end a changed person. That's what kind of game vibe this gives off. Yeah, I'm super into this. I can't wait to find out more. But I just don't like the name. I just think I don't like the name.
What's wrong with it being called Lake?
Because I just any name that's like so like that, where it's like you're like, oh, I think the game was called Lake, and you type it into Google, and then the game is never going to show up. I think it's a bad name.
My God, what a first world problem! Are you kidding?
It's bad for like them
Lake
from PR perspective. You can get away with it if you're fucking like a AAA game, but as an indie game, I think let's go something a little bit trickier. Then after that, we got Boyfriend Dungeon. I can't wait for this. Every time I see it, I'm just like, give me the fucking game already. But they keep teasing. It's coming later this year, apparently still. Anyway, they did a dev commentary of it. They explained the game. Having the chat open in any of these streams where they show Boyfriend Dungeon is always a lot of fun because people... well, yes, that too. But either way, people start getting rather weird. In case you don't know what Boyfriend Dungeon is, it is a dungeon crawler, roguelike kind of dungeon crawler where you date your weapons after you're done dungeon crawling. So you go in the dungeon, you fight. The combat looks fun. Art style's great. All awesome. Come out of the dungeon, text up, meet up at the club with your sword. But your sword's actually a sexy man. And you go on a date. It's fucking awesome.
Dungeon crawler cross with Howdable Boyfriend or whatever it's called.
I was going to say Dream Daddy. Dream Daddy? You know, like there are dating games without pigeons in them. Then they got Baldur's Gate 3, which they kept teasing. There was a big announcement for it. It wasn't a super big announcement. The announcement was for an announcement, which wasn't that exciting. So they come out, they're like, hey, we're still working on the game. The big thing was saying that early access hopefully it'll come August. They said they're aiming for August, but obviously COVID has potentially put a problem to that. They did show footage of them back in the studio, even doing mocap. They're wearing masks and shit while doing mocap, which is both funny, but
that
also
makes sense. Yeah,
at least they're
mocap is, when you think about it, mocap is the thing that's probably holding the most games back.
Yeah,
because you can't do that from home.
No, you can do the programming and the bips and the bops, but you can't. Yeah, and even the voice work, potentially depending on the. I know some voice actors,
quality,
the big ones are setting up home studios and stuff. But what about the smaller people trying to hire not your Troy Bakers who don't have the ability to record at home? You know, the voice actors who are voice actors, but they still need a studio to come record.
Yeah, they probably don't want to be recording in like a laundry or whatever. Yeah,
no, probably not. And then they also announced that they're going to have another gameplay stream. It's going to happen the day before D&D Live, so it's June 18th. So you can tune into that if you want more gameplay.
June 18th, what a day!
Yeah, get started. So then also Disco Elysium, Lithium, that's now an Epic's game store. Nick's favorite game. Western Dead, the Rod Perlman voiced Western. This looks really cool. I'm really excited for this one. It looked really cool last time we saw it.
Yeah.
I think that was in a Nintendo Direct as well, actually.
No, it was like Game Awards because it's from the Arcane, Arcane developer who announced making a new...
No, that's the other one. This is the one Perlman one. The other one's called West of...
I'm thinking Weird West. Sorry.
Weird West.
Yeah.
Yes. That was at the Game Awards.
Nintendo Direct.
Yes. So this is the Ron Perlman, like straight up twin sticky type action one. The other one's like an RPG adventure game. Okay. Yeah. This comes out in a couple of days, June 18th. Looks cool. PS4 and Switch players have to wait until August though. So PC and Xbox One, June 18th. This next one was the only cool card game, IMO. So it's called Fight in Tight Spaces. I've never seen this before. As soon as they started showing it, I'm like, this is just Metal Gear Acid. And if you never played Metal Gear Acid, it was Metal Gear, but with cards to do the combat. And it was all like hand-to-hand combat. And it was really cool. It was on PSP and shit. So that
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember it.
There was like 2 or 3 of them. I can't remember. But they were really cool. But that's what this game is. So you play as a dude. It's got this like, what do you call it? Silhouette art style thing happening. And then you literally use cards. You have a deck. And then you can do moves like fucking punch this dude or like use a counter card or whatever. This one seems fun. This one seems different enough to stand out from all the other ones. Because the thing about all these other card combat games is they all seem to be fantasy
idea. Yeah.
They're all high fantasy
stories. Yeah.
Yes.
Dungeon crawlers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This next game was really cool. I'd never heard of it before, but the trailer was great and I'm all about it. So it's called Haven, not the TV show, starring Emily Rose from Uncharted. So you play as both the girl and boy character, or maybe you can pick which one you play as, I guess. Or you can play co-op. And as the description reads, they escaped a lost planet to be together. A RPG adventure about love and freedom to play solo or co-op with a special someone. And it's literally this, you play as this couple, or you can play with your friend, your special someone, in co-op. And it seems like you're on this planet. I guess you escaped Earth or whatever, and you got this alien planet, and you go around, and it seems like you can collect resources and then like take it back to your base and like upgrade things. And there's going to be cutscenes back at base where you get down the jiggy with it and all sorts of things. But then there's also RPG combat. Like you run into monsters, and it seems you do legit RPG combat. It's a weird mix, but the trailer was cool, and I'm like, this looks fun, different, exciting. Yes, I'm into it. Anyone else? No. Anyone?
I mean, it's
Dylan,
different.
Can I be your special someone?
Probably doesn't have online co-op. Let's be honest. It's fucking.
That's true.
That's your letdown. I'm sorry. No, that is cool though. See, that's what I save my energy for. Got to save it for the special ones like Haven over here. You know, because when the trailer started and they were like making out over a table, I'm like, what is going on here? And next second they're fucking floating around outside and fighting monsters and shit. I'm like, this fucking game between this and Boyfriend Dungeon, I can't handle.
No way people can make out and then fight. It just never happens.
It seemed, but when the trailer started, I was like expecting a
visual novel
type thing. But the next second,
especially because they had no dialogue in this one, and then they show it again in the PC Gamer one, and they have got voiceover.
Yeah, what's the difference? PC ads, Master Race, dialogue.
I guess
you know it.
That's how it works. I think. I don't know. So the next one was Metal Hellinger. Helsinger.
Hellinger.
They put this trailer out a couple days ago. Troy Baker's voicing it. They got a bunch of bands involved. The thing with this game is
so to be clear, it's Doom, pretty much.
Yeah,
but also a rhythm-based shooter.
Yes,
it's a rhythm-based shooter.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like it's super so. It's very obviously Doom. You even have glory kills to the point that it seems like it's highly ripping off Doom, which I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll forgive that. Trying to do the rhythm thing. When they show gameplay in this one or the PC game show, I can't remember which one it was, and we're going to skip it.
It's this one.
We're going to skip the double ups when we get to it, but it's fine. The gameplay, it didn't seem like he was punished for not shooting to the beat. So I'm like, what is the point? Because I've played that Zelda one.
You just talked before about someone not missing their shots at somebody and that not being good. And now you're complaining about them being perfect and shooting in this one.
But I'm saying if it's a rhythm game and it doesn't seem like they're shooting to the rhythm, then what?
No, they were shooting on the beat.
Were they though?
It felt like it.
They are, from everything. I'm just quickly looking at it. They are.
But they reloaded out of the beat. I don't. Maybe I just didn't.
I think you're allowed to reload out of the beat.
I don't know
right?
how the system works. I don't know. Maybe I just need to see more. From what I saw, I was like, none of this seems rhythm based enough. And maybe when you're playing it, obviously, maybe it feels different. But from what I saw, I'm like, this just looks like a Doom ripoff.
The only thing, there was one section where I'm like, is that it looks like it's from a different level? So it's like, is that to a different song maybe, and that's why it looks out of beat?
I don't know. Either way,
maybe
the actual trailer was cool, the reveal trailer, but then the gameplay, I was like, I don't know, I'm not completely.
It's a weird sequel to Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Yeah, that's the game, Crypt of the Necrodancer, because that one punishes you. Like if you try to move outside of the beat, you won't move correctly. Like you won't move a square, so it punishes you for not doing things correctly. Every action, attacking, moving, has to be done in the beat, and if you don't, you get punished for it. So anyway, and then the last game was quite an interesting trailer. The trailer,
I've seen this. I saw this on Twitter, and I thought it was a flat out meme, not a game.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the trailer is a meme because they don't really explain what the game is. So here's the description for the game. Let me set it up. The description for the game is Just Die Already is an old people mayhem sandbox created by the designers of Goat Simulator. And that should tell you enough you need to know. You're an old and angry and you've just been kicked out of your retirement home. How will you survive in a world that just wants you to die already? So it seems like it's a sandbox open world game.
It's Goat Simulator, but you're an old person.
Yeah. But
is the simple answer.
But the trailer doesn't show any of that. What the trailer is a recreation of the original Death Stranding trailer that literally opens with a plea for Hideo Kojima to unblock the developer, and then they proceed to literally just recreate the thing, but they blur over the old man's naughty bits, and
even with like a bootleg version of the song that was playing. Yeah,
it's great. And then at the end, it cuts to a screen where there's a whole bunch of text you can read where it's like, hey, maybe we can be friends, and Hideo Kojima, you should fucking text me. It's funny. It's weird, but it's funny.
Very much so.
So out of all those, if is there any one game that comes to your head that you like that? It's the one from the Guerrilla Collective, day one for me.
From what I saw from everything we've talked about, Lake is the big one that caught my attention the most.
Lake?
And of course Baldur's Gate, but I think that's just kind of...
Yeah. Well, they didn't really show anything super interesting, so that's just preconceived excitement for it.
Like, I was already excited and I'm already kind of guaranteed to buy Baldur's Gate, so it's like something new and refreshing was Lake, so yeah.
Ash, do you have a...
Yeah, nothing really stood out. Baldur's Gate, obviously, it was the big title. Boyfriend Dungeon, of course, looks good again. But yeah.
I'm going to say Lake as well, because I hadn't seen that before. So, like, there's some of ones I've seen before that still look cool, but I never heard of Lake, and that's the one that I walked away going, never heard of you? Now I want you. So, Lake's my pick as well. So then we got the PC gaming show. I'm fucking going to skip some of these because there's a lot, and some of them we've already talked about, some of them we don't need to talk about. So, But overall impressions of the PC gaming show, Ash, like how do you feel about this
long
6-day event?
Yeah, it was long. I think it seemed like they all knew they were going to sort of go back to back, and they should have spaced each other out a bit more. Or I should have spaced out my viewing more. Yeah.
It's just how it goes. The PC gaming show is always long, and it's always a mess every year. But yeah, it definitely felt like
it is always a hot mess. It's very interesting how much of a hot mess it always is.
Yes. I mean, it was an interesting way to put it together. They've obviously put effort into the presentation, and there was some laughs and that kind of thing. But and from what I hear, it was better than it was at E3 last year because they've cut down kind of some of the awkward dev talk.
Yeah, they used to
of having them on stage and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
just due to the format. But yeah, I mean, it helped. I watched it. I watched the Easy Allies reactions video. Is the way I watched it. So at least I had them sort of explaining stuff and sort of keeping me entertained as well. So yeah,
get the banter. Get the bants.
The banter.
All right. So yeah,
also,
it was way too long.
I don't know if it was with just them as well. The video for the actual presentation, they kept saying the video was interlaced. So probably if you go back and watch the trailers separate, is probably better than watching the
would look better
original
than
screen.
The stream. Yeah, it's no different than the PlayStation.
Yeah,
they're like, hey, this is 1080, but straight after the stream, you can watch the 4K ones.
You could see like lines and stuff in the videos and that kind of stuff. So.
All right, so All Blitz, very excited, fantastic trailer,
cool.
Absolutely all about it. 1 minute long trailer where it's got this cool song and everyone's dancing and it's very trippy and there's like kaleidoscope effects. And the big announcement from this year's All Blitz thing was that the game is finally entering some stage of being playable, which is early access later this year. Exciting. Finally going to get hands
Did we
on
know
All Blitz.
it was coming to Xbox? I don't know if we knew that.
Yeah, I believe we did. It didn't shock me. So my brain was like,
I think so.
My brain said I knew it.
It's been so long. So
yeah, it's been a while since we've seen it. They went to hiding a bit, obviously, because
after the Epic Store announcement,
anti-Epic Game people. I mean, look at the trailer.
Is that still a thing?
Yeah, like the chat watching the PC gaming show.
Okay, cool.
Here's what I found out watching the chat for a PC gaming show. What I found out is PC gamers actually don't care about games. They only care about first-person shooters. Like, and I tweeted about this. I literally saw someone comment, remember when people made first-person shooters? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's just fucking first-person shooter comes out like every other week. What
can I ask, where were you watching this?
The actual PC gaming channel.
Like, is in YouTube or Twitch?
Twitch.
Oh,
Mixer.
that's disappointing.
It was
Mixer.
It was no. The chat was toxic, and then anytime Epic Game Store come up, just everyone in the chat, of course, fuck Epic Game Store, not buying this game. I would have brought this game if it wasn't on Epic Game Store. So they all still hate it. And then other than that, the third most commented thing I saw across all three of these streams was every 2 minutes, someone about 50 people would spam the chat with Bloodborne PC, Bloodborne PC, Bloodborne PC. And by the time I got to the third event, the Future Gaming Show, I was like, I don't recall seeing a legit leak about Bloodborne for PC. So all these motherfuckers are just running around all these streams going, if you don't show Bloodborne on PC, then this stream is cancelled. And I'm like, there was never a legit leak or like proper, what the hell's wrong with you? Anyway, yeah, so PC Gaming Show chat was absolute a fucking garbage truck on fire. So that's great. Next thing they showed after was Torchlight 3's out in early access right now. I played Torchlight 2. I thought it was cool. Torchlight 3, I looked up the early response to this being in early access. Although the trailer looked cool, apparently the early access is kind of unsurprisingly a bit of a mess in its first day. Not going to say that's what I would expect, but that's what I would expect to be.
That's why it's early access.
You can currently only play online. There's no single player. The game was crashing for some people, kicking them out, disconnect issues. So maybe wait a week.
Well, online makes sense, probably because they want to get information.
Yeah.
I assume that's why, but yeah. I'm keen for that. I mean, I played the first one, I think, a bit, and the second one a bit. So
I think you need to upgrade your laptop, Ash. I don't think it's going to...
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
Torchlight 3 might be
high on the list. That's the thing that's going to put me over.
That's a thing. Of all things to upgrade your laptop for, it's going to be Torchlight 3. You've been holding it. You're like,
it's going to take Torchlight 3 to get you to upgrade your laptop. Oh, I wish other things would.
I mean, if that's what it takes, whatever it takes,
The Explosion Network thanks you, Torchlight 3 developers.
Yeah. Not wrong. The next thing was Persona 4 Golden. Of course, the leaks were true. Persona 4 Golden launched right there and then on Steam. You can now get it there. It's like $30, I think was what it was. And then there's like some collector's edition thing. Apparently it looks cool, like slightly up-res, like it's HD now. It's not in your Vita. The Vita's officially dead. It's also quite weird. I saw someone point this out on Twitter. Several people point this out on Twitter, and it's true. Which is that Greg Miller invaded the stream to introduce this, that this was coming. And then people on Twitter were pointing out that it's funny that of all people, Greg Miller was the one who actually killed the Vita. Like by announcing that this is now
still the only place you can play Uncharted Golden Abyss. So
that's true.
Cover it.
That's true. But also
unless you got a Vita TV.
No, you can't do the swiping stuff on the Vita TV. It's got all the puzzles where you need the swipey. Yeah.
I imagine if you've got a DualShock 4, you could do it on the touchpad.
Doesn't let you.
No?
Doesn't let you.
Okay.
Is it all the climbing in that game, like the backpad stuff?
Yep. Persona 4 Golden, if you haven't played it, I think it's better than Persona 5, personally. Maybe not better than Royal, but definitely better than original Persona IMO.
How'd you know?
Because I know where the original ending is. And I know that if that was the original ending, I would be like, this wasn't that great. That Royal content, though, that's the shit.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. Next thing was Icarus. So Dean Hall, the creator of DayZ, returns to the survival genre with this game. This was kind of cool. I'm not really into survival games. I'm not going to rush out. I've never played DayZ or whatever. But watching this and hearing him talk about the game afterwards and why he returned to it, and why he took some time away, and what inspired him for this one, coming from kind of
bold for the interviewer to straight up ask him, hey, it seemed like you pretty much deserted DayZ. What's up with that?
Yeah, and he was like, well, I think he nicely also was like, the developer that whatever the studio is, which he helped form for that, he's like, they wanted to go one direction, and it's obviously they had to split.
It was mutual, yeah.
Yeah, they weren't going in the right direction. And now he's made this. So it looks cool if you're into survival games. It definitely looked quite interesting. And there's a bunch of survival games. I watched trailers for them.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'm like, whatever. This one did seem like it was trying enough different and new things.
Yeah. So the only difference with this one is you drop down from a space station.
So these
for a set amount of time.
These games are always a billion times better. 12 to 18 months after their initial release.
Yeah, probably.
It happened with Rust. It happened with The Forest, where they added a whole heap of stuff into this game to make it more playable. There was more story elements to develop. There was a lot more to see in the game. They always add a heap to these games. So I always find these weird because they're not something that if you buy it early, it's probably going to be a shell of what it's going to really be in down the line. So I always find these kind of interesting games to look at.
But some people always have to buy them in early access or they don't end up getting better. So it's people have to be guinea pigs, unfortunately.
Also true. Also incredibly true.
Yeah. Next game was Evil Genius 2 World Domination. You play as criminal masterminds and you do stuff.
Yeah.
Then you got Godfall, that gameplay for Godfall. It looked meh.
Crap.
It looked meh. Gotta be honest.
It looked so bad.
Gotta be honest. I wasn't blowing my socks off for that one, that's for sure. Next game is Faye Tactics, the girl who destroyed the world. This is intrigued me because it is it's my game to get excited about this year to scratch my Final Fantasy Tactics itch. Whether or not it does that.
Did you ever play that?
No, because so here's what happened behind the scenes. Dylan emails review code. They don't reply to Dylan. Game comes out, gets terrible reviews. I go, well, I would have played it. But now everyone's saying it's terrible. And
what was it? Dark Crystal. The Dark Crystal one.
Yep, Dark Crystal one. I was excited for it.
So put it out there to not playing, apparently.
They put it out. I was excited about it. It comes out, it gets overall negative reviews.
Yep. So Fate Tactics learn from Dark Crystal's mistakes.
Not to say I always trust reviews. However, at the time, I was like, I do not have the money to blow on random games that everyone is saying is trash. Sorry. I can't win them all. Can't win them all. Can't win them all. So Fate Tactics, give me the game. But it looks cool. It's like a...
or don't be terrible.
Don't be terrible, yeah. It cool art style, cool characters. They're also touting this whole thing where they're like, the game is going to have no menus. I'm like, I don't know how you do that, but sure.
Really?
Joe forgot. Yeah, apparently. This is what they're saying. They're like,
how do you go to inventory then?
You don't, Ash. You fucking don't.
There's no inventory.
There's no inventory.
You just kind of check in your pockets and rumble around a bit like you're looking for your keys.
But that looks like an inventory menu.
Yeah, I think they're doing some stuff to kind of cheat around, but that's what it is. Anyway, that looks cool. Next game also looked cool. So it's Kato. This had a very cool art style. It's like a puzzling game where you sort of have to manipulate the map to move characters around different locations and this sort of thing. But the art design and the general idea of the puzzle elements for the game look like a lot of fun. So
it kind of reminded me of Carcassonne, obviously the old school tile-based board game where you can obviously that's the mechanic. You can switch stuff around and different things unlock on the map.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so from basic form, it seemed like in the trailer, it's like this person's like, I want to get to my home, and then you like move that tile to where their home is,
so you can get there.
So you can get to the home. Yeah, and I'm sure it gets more complicated as the game continues, but that seems like fun. The next game, I don't know if this is actually the name or like it's a working title, but it's just called Project Wingman. I don't know if it's a Nick game or not. I couldn't tell like how simmy this flight game is. I mean, it looks.
I mean, you're outside the plane, so
that's true. So it's not a Nick game. It's not a Nick game, but it does say Project Wingman is a flight.
Oh no,
action
there's
game.
some bits where you're inside the plane, so maybe.
Lets you take the seat of advanced fighter jets and become a true ace. Fight in various missions and game modes, ranging from intense aerial dogfights to large-scale grand assault in an alternate scorched earth setting. So it's a lot more action heavy, whereas all the ones Nick plays is about like spending half an hour pressing buttons and then pressing fire once, and then
going back to base.
Go back to base to refuel. Yeah. That's the ones. That's how Nick likes to play his flight game. The most exciting
Teaming
way.
up with people, fucking flying in formation.
Yeah, that's the funnest way.
Yeah.
So next
Fire one missile, fly back to base.
Yeah. I think that's legit how it works as well. Like not even memeing.
And make sure you do all of the landing communication prior to the landing or restart the whole thing.
Yep. No, not for me. So this might be this might be like a middle ground sim, maybe. The next game was Blanco's Block Party. So this got shown off here and in the next one as well. No. That's what I have to say about this one. No, it looks weird. I don't really understand it. It's like they've got these like pop vinyl characters that aren't actually pop vinyls. And it's an MMO where they're talking about constantly updating the game. And to me, what it sounds like is they've seen the success of Fortnite. Not the Battle Royale aspect, but like the ongoing game mode where like kids come in and they like socialize together and whatever. And they're like, let's make that, but like without the actual...
Wait, that sounds like Club Penguin.
Yes, that's what I was more thinking. I think it's a more grown-up Club Penguin, but you know they've found their own way to make money out of it by buying these custom skins and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Look, as long as it makes the content that Club Penguin did, because there's an official speedrunning thing that used to be for Club Penguin was how quickly you could get your account banned.
Wow.
People used to time themselves going through like from account creation into logging into the game to see how quickly they get banned.
Does that involve like racist and or sexist?
No. You just have to swear in chat.
Oh, that's easy.
You literally just have to start like create your account, log in, get in the game, type in chat, and then you get banned.
How's there much like aspects to that speedrunning?
It seems like more of a question of how quick your internet is than anything else.
It's all about the precision, you know, of how you can enter your details and everything. I mean, there's rules around like no autofill of information and stuff like that. Yeah, the whole thing.
Wow.
Speedrun anything.
Wow. I'm excited to see the Blanco's Block Party speedrun then. Yeah, for sure. Mafia the Definitive Edition got its first proper trailer, although it wasn't actual gameplay. It was just like a bunch of cinematics and stuff. either way, it's
CGI,
more than we've seen before. I hate how much they're fucking teasing out this game. Just show me, like, straight up gameplay. Cool. I'll get excited.
And let's hope, like, this. I really hope this is really good, considering all the issues with the remaster of Mafia 2. I hope this remake is really, really good.
Yeah, I'm not holding too much of that against them because I don't know. Like, I haven't played it, so everyone else is telling me there's issues, but I personally obviously haven't played it, so I have no issues. And also, I have no problems with the developer Hangar 13 because as I said, I liked Mafia 3. I played it at launch.
Yeah,
I had no problems. There was no bugs in my version I played. I enjoyed the game. So I have no reason to really hold anything against them. And they're telling me they're remaking Mafia 1 with the Mafia 3 engine. I'm like, cool, that sounds like no problem to me. Sounds great. What they did show, though, looks cool, obviously. You kind of have to go back and look at footage of the first game, I think, to truly be like, yes, they really have remade this game. Because they don't do the comparison thing in the trailer, which I think they should have, because a lot of people may be like, this doesn't look that great. But if you aren't aware, the original game is very old at this point. Like,
yes.
Like,
yeah.
And this is not a PS3 game. It's fucking PS2 game, right? Original Xbox. Now they're bringing it up. It's a huge upgrade. They're probably remaking it. A lot of character models, some of the character models look slightly different. I think they're just kind of taking a little bit of creative license as they remake the character models. I have no problem with that. I think if they're remaking the game, you're allowed to slightly change things. In the developer interview, they also talked about how they're keeping the story mostly the same, but they said they're changing a couple of things. They didn't say what. I'm just going to hope that they're just slight changes to help the overall structure of the story kind of flow better. They did talk about how they've restructured the overall the city, because they said there's lots of 90-degree turns, and because you have to do a lot of driving and you've got to drive under the proper road rules. So if you don't drive properly, the cops will pull you over in the game and this sort of thing. And the original was super strict and you'd get pulled over all the time. And they're like, well, we'll remove a lot of these 90-degree turns that piss people off and we'll add more straights, so you can just kind of chill back and listen to the music, or proper turn, more slower turns instead of straight 90 degrees, go for it. So they're doing lots of quality of life fixes, it sounds like. Hopefully when people play it, it'll feel like both the original and also like a breath of fresh air to it. But yeah, I'm disappointed we didn't get more, but at the same time, I'm better than nothing at this stage, I guess, whatever. Shadow of a Doubt, a detective stealth game with a blocky art style. This one looked cool. I'm down for trying out this one. First person detective stealth in a fully simulated sci-fi noir city. There's a serial killer on the loose, and it's up to you to catch them by any means necessary. Sneak, tail, hide, hack, and lockpick. Just keep a low profile. I like the art style. It kind of looks like Minecraft, but a bit more to it than Minecraft. But that sort of art style looks fun though.
I guess it kind of looks like Minecraft, I guess.
Similar. I'm not saying it's like direct Minecraft, but
I was going to say, it's got curves to it. It's not all black.
Yeah, it's not all. It's not like complete Minecraft. It's not made in Minecraft, but it reminded me somewhat of
textures and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, if I had to pick something to describe it to someone who can't see it, because this is an audio podcast.
If they can't see this, have they seen Minecraft before?
Everyone's seen Minecraft, haven't they?
What if they haven't, though?
Well, I'm sure you've seen Minecraft Dungeons.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Or Minecraft Story Mode. Or the Minecraft Netflix series. Whatever that was. Game?
Yeah.
Wasn't that Minecraft Story Mode?
Yeah, but on Netflix?
On Netflix?
Whatever. Next game was The Forgotten City. This looks intriguing. I'm still not completely... it's weird, but intriguing. So... The description is travel 2,000 years into the past and relive the final days of a cursed Roman city, where if one person sins, everyone dies. Each secret uncovered and decision made could save the 26 lost souls caught in a cursed cycle or doom them forever. Can you break the time loop? So you literally travel back in time to ancient Rome days, and you've got to follow the rules of time travel, where you can't do anything too crazy to disrupt the time. However, at the same time, you're trying to save lost souls, apparently, and also break the loop for yourself so you can get out of this Groundhog Day mess.
Time loop. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Something along those lines is what it is. I'm intrigued, but I'm also like, okay, so if I accidentally...
Is that going to be fun?
If I kick over a pot, is how hardcore is the fail state? Like, if I accidentally knock over something, is it like... man.
No.
You caused Hitler to win. You know, like what like
Well,
how
no, I think it's if you cause someone to sin. So if you get somebody to punch you or somebody dies,
Okay.
everybody dies.
Okay.
And the time loop stops again.
I can live with this.
Yeah.
As
I
long as
remember
it's
this being mentioned because I believe, it's funded by the Film Victoria. So
Oh, really?
it's an Australian game, yeah.
Shit. People in the comments were pointing out, and I do agree with them. They're like, anytime they entered,
But it's not a first person.
no, like anytime, it is first person. It's not first person shooter though.
It's
you
not
know?
Bloodborne
It's not,
for
that's-
PC.
It's not Bloodborne. Yeah, that's the important thing. Anytime they enter a conversation, it looked like entering a conversation in like Skyrim, like the character models, and
Yes.
like kind of zooms in on their faces. And I'm like, comment section for the first time tonight or this morning, whenever it was.
I think it was
I
based on
agree.
a Skyrim mod, from what I've heard. Well, what the Easy Ally said.
That would explain a lot then. Yes.
Yeah.
Next game is Paradise Killer. I think I talked about this briefly at one stage. It was part of one of those demos I tried out for the Ludonericon thing. It's
Oh, yeah.
Danganronpa, but not a Danganronpa. But if you like Danganronpa, this is what you're going to play. Traveling around an island, cool art style. You're trying to find a killer, interview people. Eventually, you enter a case state where you got to like prove the killer. It looks really cool. Trash Sailors. This looks really cool. So interesting art style. I don't know how you would describe it. How would you describe this art style? It's like a fucking like a pop-up book, maybe. Is that how
Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it. I think.
pop-up book. But it says it's co-op, so it sounds like a lot of fun. Description is Trash Sailors is a hand-drawn sailing action with co-op up to 4 players. Control the group of castaways by local or online multiplayer. Fuck you. And create the trashiest sailing team in history. Make your splash, dash, raft, fight with mutants, and trash your friendship. So it just seems like a bunch of fun. You're on like a craft, obviously, and you're fighting off monsters and trying not to sink. Seems like it could be a silly time, for sure. Next one is showing off again later, but we'll talk about here. Chris Tales. I played the demo for this late last year, whenever it was. Fucking awesome. Cannot wait for it. Somewhere between this and the next one, they announced that it's also coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X. They also announced that the release date is November 17th. I believe I talked about this on here before, but in case you don't remember or no one remembers, Chris Tales is an JRPG like it's inspired by JRPGs, but it's not an actual JRPG. That's how the combat plays. But the coolest thing about it is the game takes place in 3 time periods at once. So like on the left-hand side of the screen is the past, in the middle is obviously the present, and then on the right is the future. And this is integrated into the puzzles in the environment and also into combat. And the example in the combat that I got in the demo is literally where it's like, this enemy has a giant shield and I cannot get past it, but I have a water spell. So I cast the water spell and then I move the time into the future and all of a sudden it's rusted because like that's... So it's got cool things it's going to do with the time zones. And just when you walk around the world, you literally are always seeing these triangles on your screen and it divides the world up into past, present, and future at all times. It's kind of crazy how they can have that happening and constantly changing. It's like having 3 different versions of a world map on your screen at the same time. And the art style is beautiful. I really, really, really love the trailer. I can't wait to play this more. This is the one Ash was talking about before. Weird West.
Yes.
Interview with Raphael Colinatino, right? I think that's how you say his name. One of the co-founders, people that created
Arcane Studios.
Arcane Studios, who was in that documentary, the No Clip documentary, quite a lot. However, he left that, started this new studio. This is his first new game outside of the Arcane Studio lot. It's called Weird West. It's a RPG Western where you can die and you lose your character and you can start again, or you can like play on easier settings so you can kind of respawn or not. Like they obviously are designing it where it's you die once and kind of roll again type of thing. It's supposed to be that sort of
You're dead.
you're dead. It's supposed to be that sort of RPG. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm interested to see more about it. The interview was a lot of fun too. The interview was actually quite interesting. Twin Mirror Don't Nod's game that we hadn't seen for like a fucking year. This is the one. The description reads: Samuel, a 33-year-old man recovering from a recent breakup, returns to his hometown in Basswood, West Virginia. Take me home for the funeral of his best friend. Understandably depressed and bitter, he feels completely out of sorts and out of place. But when he wakes up in his hotel room with a bloody shirt and no memory of his whereabouts the previous night, he embarks on a twisted investigation to find the truth. So when this game was revealed, originally it was going to be like a typical Don't Nod like 5-episode scenario, and it was also originally being published by fucking mental blanking on their name. It was being published by someone. Anyway, between then and now, Don't Nod is now self-publishing the game, and it's no longer episodic. It's now just being developed as a straight up, it's a game, it's not episodic. So all of that sounds awesome. Apparently it's still coming sometime in 2020. I'd like to play it. Then they did...
Yeah, definitely. Me too.
Then they did Metal Hellsinger. Cool. Then they did the Dungeon of... I cannot say this. The Dungeon of Nihilbek. The Amulet of Chaos. I don't know. Either way, Felicia Day introduced it. It's like it's an RPG like all the others we've seen. However, this one's taking itself less serious and it's a bit silly, and so that
seems
made it
like
stand
it
out.
is the Guild, the game, almost.
Yeah,
because she's voicing one of the characters. So yeah,
and it stood out for that factor because it was like, we're having fun. We're not trying to be like the million other fucking very serious fucking fantasy RPGs that
they're all joking around and stuff. Yeah, it was charming.
So next one was Red Sails. It's like Journey, but you're in a boat. I mean, that's how I described it. I don't know how else you can describe it. I mean,
I think that's how they described it as well.
Is it? Okay, then there's a win. They win. If that's how they're describing the game, that's how I took it. Like, I watched the trailer. It's a desert. You're in a fucking boat. You're gliding around the desert. It's Journey, right? In a boat. It's Journey in a boat. Yeah.
Makes sense.
They then showed off Surgeon Simulator 2. This had been announced during the IGN thing, I think, earlier, but I just hadn't actually heard of it. I somehow missed that. So when this came up, I was like, cool, might actually play Surgeon Simulator 2 because apparently now it has a story mode, multiplayer mode, and a creation mode. Whereas the original game was like, it was just more of a arcade thing, I guess. It's like, here, have fun with this, or try and not be terrible at the game. Now this seems like they've added a lot more. I'm actually surprised it took Surgeon Simulator this long to get a sequel, to be honest, because the game was super popular.
Considering they like annualize some of those titles.
Mm-hmm. Especially,
Car Mechanic 2020.
No.
I'm sure it's not the same team, but
it's almost as bad as Skyrim with the amount of times they've like re-released Surgeon Simulator in one form or another on different consoles.
Is that on VR?
It's VR as well, and just everything. Yeah.
But it was like one of the OG most popular like kind of Let's Play games.
Simulator games, yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So I'm surprised that didn't turn out to making more faster, but I mean, anyway. So then they had a trailer for The Last Campfire. This looks really cool. Continues to look really cool. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this because a lot of people are still holding a grudge on Hello Games. I think that's why a lot of people are not giving this enough attention. Even though Hello Games has pretty much completely 180 No Man's Sky into being a thing that everyone kind of likes now. I mean, come to Xbox
No Man's Sky
now.
out on Xbox now.
Crossplay, fucking everything. I think everyone likes that game now, right? So it's like its period of hate is over, I think, maybe. I don't know. Do people still hate Sean Murray? Have we forgiven Sean Murray as gamers? Is that a thing? Are we willing to move past? Because this game looks really cool. I remember seeing this at the Game Awards. It looks really cool. It continues to look really cool.
It looks very cool.
Yeah.
So,
you could almost say hashtag cuties about this game.
Definitely. It's definitely a hashtag cuties. In case you don't know, it's like just a cute like 3D adventure game. I'm sure it has some puzzles. Doesn't seem to have any combat. Its description is The Last Campfire is an adventure, a story of last ember, trapped in a puzzling place, searching for meaning and a way home. Doesn't really tell you much, but the game trailer looks cool. Then Nick fucking got hard sitting in bed at night, I'm sure. Escape from Tarkov got a new map. Terrible trailer, to be honest, though. Like, I know I don't play this game, so maybe I'm not getting out of it, but the trailer's like, here's a new map. And the way we're going to show off a map is we're just going to kind of creep around the environment in this building, and we're going to tease that we're about to get into combat.
95% of the player base are going to be playing
but,
it.
But you would think they would actually shoot someone at the end or fucking something, right?
No, it's escape from Tarkov, not shoot people in Tarkov.
You have to escape. You're there to escape. You're not there to freaking kill anybody, to steal anything, to do anything of any kind of attacking or aggressive nature. You're running away.
I hated it. It was terrible. There's a reason I don't play this game. It looks bad. And then the last thing was really cool. Outlast Trials. So it's not Outlast 3. I don't know if they're planning to do Outlast 3. I'm sure they're leaving that open. But this is kind of like a spin-off prequel game. So it's set before all the other ones. It's set during the Cold War, I think is when it's set. Or did, if I click on my other story here, I'm pretty sure I set it here, fill time as I click on it. Oh, blah, 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 very creepy, cinematic, they're very nice, strange. I can't find it. Yeah, Cold War, right. I was correct. So it's set during the Cold War, and it's basically set when the Murkov, I think is what they're called, group, who were the bad guys throughout all the Outlast games, and they're doing their experimentations during the early days. And you can play this game single player, or you can play it co-op with up to 4 players. So you're going to be running around from monsters, working together to survive. Now, they haven't explained fully if it's like replayable scenarios or it's like a full-on co-op game with like a campaign, which is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's just like a full-on Outlast game that's designed for co-op first, where they let you play single player if that's the way you want to play it. But the trailer basically shows that they experiment on these people. They seem to screw night vision goggles to your fucking face, which is disturbing, but you got to do what you got to do. And they got to explain how your character has night vision goggles, I guess. So they're like, well, screw them to your face. Go for it. But I'm intrigued. Like, the Outlast games are scary. And I think it's a bold move to step into the multiplayer scary aspect, because pulling off scares in a multiplayer fashion is, I think, harder, obviously, when people are working together. But maybe Red Barrels are the team to do it. There's no release date yet. Hoping for more information soon, but I'm intrigued. I'm down to play this with all the views and hear Ash cry and Ciaran cry, and we can all cry together. Because by the time this is out, Ash's laptop's broken up and he's had to buy. He's got his new one ready to play Torchlight, so I'm sure he can play this. So.
Yep. His new one's got all of the freaking toolbars that needs installed on it. Like, it's ready to go.
Yep.
Love it. Get excited. At last. Trials comes soon. All right. So was it anything stand out for that? Anyone in particular? PC Game Show? Personally, I think it was pretty.
Torchlight, Cardo, Evil Geniuses I'm interested in. Yeah.
Did you say Torchlight or no?
Yeah, I said Torchlight.
Okay, just making sure. Just making sure. I honestly, I don't think anything particularly stood out to me from this whole thing. I mean, maybe Fate Tactics was my one like major thing, I guess, that I'm keeping my eye on. But other than that,
was that this one?
Yeah, Fate Tactics was this one. I just double checked quickly. I mean, there was some other cool thing that's came out, like the Crystals release date, sure. But like, as for a new thing, yeah, we'll go Fate Tactics. But overall, that is the worst show so far. Fucking overbloated, went forever. Half the games got melded into other games because they were too similar. It's like, if you have like 6 games that seem similar, it's not a good idea to show them all, because by the end of the show, I'm going to come out and read through the list like I just did and go, top-down RPG, fantasy RPG, roguelike, blah, 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 blah. They fucking all get lost. Just my advice for the future, everyone. All right, and the final thing, this one isn't quite as long, or hasn't got as many games, and some half of them have probably already been over, so we can fucking skip them at this stage. But the Future Game Show. Now, this is the second best one, and the reason I don't think I don't put it above the Guerrilla Collective is because
about 3/4 of the way through, they decided to do a bunch of like news spots about the future of gaming. Mm-hmm. Like, here's all these people and their predictions on what the future of gaming is. Here's what games are going to be like in the future, and we're like so why?
This was put together by the website Games Radar, and for some reason, it feels like they've interjected what could be interesting features separately into this stream. And it killed the momentum and it killed the overall flow of the show. And it's quite weird to look back and have these two features. So the first one was like, let's talk about the future of games. The second one was, let's talk about crossplay and how that's important for the future of games. I don't fucking, like, I'm aware.
Also, they were like 5 minutes apart from each other.
Yeah.
If you're going to put them in, like, space them out. You've got a full hour.
Also, I'm pretty sure anyone watching these is aware that crossplay is a thing and it's cool and it should just be in everything. Like, I don't need to be preached as to why that's a thing that should exist, you know? So that kind of killed the momentum, and that's the reason. If it wasn't for that, this would be better than the Guerrilla Collective. Easily. But that completely killed the thing. I will say, Nolan North, Emily Rose hosted this. In case you don't know, Drake, and
Elena.
Yeah, fucking dying here. Drake and Elena hosted this. They did a great job from their separate locations. They had good banter back and forth. It flowed through the show. Nolan North had some great dad jokes. Emily played along well. Great stuff. Pity that these random interjections from other shit ruined the overall flow of all that. But they were great. They were great. And I'd love to see them host more stuff together. There was a great part near the end of it where Nolan's like, Emily, would you do another game with me? You want to do another game where I'm like a swashbuckling pirate or something? And Emily's like, nah, I think I've done that. She's like, nah, I think I've done it. I'm like, yeah. All right, so let's go through. Quantum Error was the first thing they showed off. So this is a PS5 game, a PS5 horror game that's coming. It looks really cool. So you play as a firefighter, who's like, you get told there's a fire over there, and you go, cool, I'm going to go put out the fire. And then when you get there, you go to put out the fire, you go into the building, you find out it's some like lab or shit, and it's all fucked up. Like, I don't know what's going on. Aliens, maybe? Creatures escaping? I don't know. But as you watch the trailer, originally the dude just has his like fireman axe or whatever. And then later in the trailer, he's got like shotguns and shit. And I'm like, where the fuck did he get those? That's weird, but
does he just yell, I'm just a fireman
Maybe.
half the time? Like,
I don't know.
This is way above my pay grade.
Yeah. It's it looked cool though. I like seeing some horror games and stuff. And apparently they're aiming to have this come out by the end of the year, around launch. They said they're obviously, COVID, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it does look really cool. Easily one of my games of the entire 24 hours and of this thing was Dustborn. I was already really looking forward to seeing this coming in. This is one I knew that was going to be shown, or I didn't know what the game was. I knew the developer was going to be showing this game, but so this is a game in which it fits the overall tone of what's happening in the world quite well, because you are like a group of, the description is lead a band of misfits and outcasts on a perilous road trip across the divided states of America in a story-driven action adventure about hope, friendship, love, robots, and the power of words. So in the game, you're trying to deliver something across America. They don't tell you what. However, you're getting chased by basically cops, and you fight the cops in the game with words, because apparently when you use words, you have a supernatural power to like kind of literally throw them backwards as they show you.
Fist row
dart people with your words. So you can literally, of all the games that seem super relevant at the moment to tie into current issues, this one seems to be hitting on a lot of them. And the chat wasn't a big fan of this game for some reason. Wasn't the biggest fan of this game. I think this looks really cool. Ash, did you think this looks...
Yeah, I really liked it. I got Tales of the Borderlands vibes, just purely from that one tracking shot through the van or bus. It reminded me of obviously the camper van in Tales of the Borderlands, plus the robots that helped. Yeah, looks good.
Yeah. They had a Colossi developer presentation. Nothing new. Gameplay we'd seen before. It was interesting to hear them talk about the game. But
they got me again.
Why?
What's he said? What have you done, Harry? In a British accent.
What?
I thought it was Harry Potter game.
What? Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Why just for a second. Just for a second.
Did you see
I don't know. There's only so many.
Game developers, if you're listening, just mention Harry in the first like.
Just stop naming your characters Harry.
Okay, next one is start having a game where every character is referred to by their surname, and the main character's surname is Potter.
Yeah.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
I might fall for that too. Yeah.
So then they had a developer presentation for Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. Once again, they didn't really show off much interesting because they released the trailer last week already. But I'm intrigued for this one, to be honest.
I'm very interested. I think it's a cool take for Sherlock Holmes, especially after we've had the success of the BBC Benedict Cumberbatch kind of run of Sherlock Holmes and how different that is. I think this is another good way to take this game. Well, take this kind of character.
I haven't played any of Frogware's games, Sherlock games, but this makes me want to play them because this one I'm highly intrigued by. I've always been slightly interested by theirs because they look fun, but not enough to like pull the trigger and commit to playing one. Yes. But this one looks the most interesting out of all of them.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be interesting to see a Sherlock without Jim Watson, which Apparently, it's the press.
I mean, the moment. People have all these weird theories. There's, at the end of the actual trailer, like not the one they showed during this, but the original one, that other character who's not Watson, whoever that is. At the end of the trailer, he's standing next to Sherlock and he just constantly like flickers in and out like he's a, and people are like, oh, he's not real.
Ooh.
That's what they're running.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting.
That's interesting.
They're like Sherlock's psychological state in this one is messed up.
His mom just died.
Yeah, that's God. Right. Yeah. So then they did a Skater XL demo where they showed off a new level set in a high school. It was the developer talks about how, you know, all good skateboarding games are going to have a high school level, and that is in fact true. I'm still excited for this game. I know that it doesn't have the polish or money put into it that a Skate 3 would have, so I'm kind of tempering my expectations because I'm expecting some level of bugs and issues to be run into. But I know it's been in early access for quite some time, so I'm hoping some of that's been ironed out. And also it's not going to have like the story mode and the skaters that Skate had, like the real world skaters. But I'm still intrigued, and I still do want to play Skater. It looks like fun. Next game was Space Crew. So this one reminded me of FTL, but like with more cartoony characters and less threatening UI.
More Star Trek vibes.
There you go. Star Trek vibes. That's a good way to go about it. But yeah, it's like if you know what FTL is, which I don't know what you describe FTL is. It's like a strategy ship invasion game. Space.
Like, yeah, it's a space
Something
sim
like that.
kind
Yeah,
of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
strategic
a simulation game.
Yeah. This looks like that, but not quite as hardcore. And because of the art style and everything else, it looks less threatening to having to actually have a go at the game. Because for FTL, was always like, this looks fun, but also too many menus. I don't know what's happening on the screen at the moment. Cool.
No. Okay.
What?
I really like FTL, so.
Well, I never said you couldn't like it, Ash. I just said it looked threatening.
In my mind, it's not that complicated, but whatever.
I'm a hardcore PC gamer over here. Like, Jesus Christ. So next game was Made Obscure. Whereas I kept saying scare, but it's scare. So this one's intriguing because I've never heard of it. So it's a Welsh-made horror game, which straight away I was like, how often do you hear about Welsh games? You know, like from a Welsh development team. Like, so that stood out. But then they were like, the horror game is actually focused on Welsh folklore. And I'm like, that is something that I definitely haven't seen in a horror video game or even in a horror movie or TV show. I don't even know what the fuck Welsh folklore is, you know? So straight away I'm intrigued by this because it's different. And we see so many things in horror games where it's the same typical tropes that I'm like, something different.
Lots of sheep.
Cool. I mean, what the fuck is Welsh folklore? I don't know.
Lots of sheep, a couple extra letters in their words every now and then. You know, it's
Are they the ones with who put a ton of vowels into stuff, into names of towns?
They are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe that's what the monster is. They just chase after you and they're like, you got to put some more...
Need some more eyes and U's.
So then they had a trailer for Remothered Broken Porcelain. This looks cool. It looks scary as all fuck. I remember I had the first Remothered game, right? I started it during our 1 year anniversary stream at Ciaran's house. Is when I started playing the Remothered game. And I was running into bugs then. It's because it was the early access version. I never went back and tried it out again after it exited early access. I don't even know if I will because they're like, this one's kind of like a sequel, but it's also like good for new people to come in. So I'm like, maybe I don't even care. Either way, the game looks fucking freaky. There's like 5-6 different types of fucked up looking creatures in it. This woman's running around the house. I feel sorry for her. Horrible. Horror game. Third person horror game, not a first person horror game. That is important these days, you know. So then they had Werewolf Apocalypse, Heart of the Forest. This is another game in the World of Darkness lore. You know, you got Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolves, the Apocalypse. There was a fucking VR werewolf game announced the other day. I think I wrote up a news post about it. I can't remember the name of, but that's coming. More information about that soon. Fucking the World of Darkness is shitting out video games, basically. We literally get I feel like at the moment we get a game based in the vampire world every 3 months. And Bloodlines is coming up. And they've already released like some of these visual novel ones and fucking never ending. Anyway, the next one was Kenya, Bridge of Spirits.
Still looks cute.
Still looks cute.
Still looks. It's gonna. Yeah, it's already up.
It's already up there. Who cares about this fucking thing though? To be honest, because it was weird. They were like, "This is the last thing before they did and one last thing," and they're like, "We don't even know the name of the game," because they probably didn't at the time because they hadn't done a PS5 event. And then it was the developers talking about it, but they didn't really show any new footage. No, they didn't show any new footage. They just talked about the stuff we'd already seen. It was weird. I was like, "It's cool to see the game again. I'm glad it's getting the push because the game looks really cool." However,
Yeah.
it was only yesterday, I feel like. I don't know. It could have been 2 days ago. I'm not sure.
2 days ago.
Was it?
Dylan.
Was it though?
It's cool. We're getting there. We're getting the home stretch, everybody. Let's just head down. Let's just. Dylan can go to bed.
And then
soon.
the last guy, I ain't going to bed now. I gotta edit this. Did you ever think about that?
And I mean, by the time you finish editing, you're like 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Guerrilla Collective Day 2, motherfucker. 36 hours coming at you live. So their one last, their big one last
One more
game,
thing.
everyone. It's a sequel to Serial Cleaners, isn't it?
No, it's a
This
sequel
looks
to
really
Serial
good, though.
Cleaner.
Sorry, Serial Cleaner.
See, yeah, this looks like, considering like the graphics for Serial Cleaner wasn't this good, were they? Was it? Dylan, did you play Serial Cleaner?
No, but I was saying screenshots, and no, it didn't look this good. It was more stylized to make up for the lack of
Visual.
visuals. It was stylized more. Yeah.
Looks pretty cool. I like this. It looks fun.
You know, I always thought the original kind of looked cool, but not enough to commit to it. This one seems a bit more fun because obviously it seems like they got more money into it. They got 4 characters, the 90s, and less stylized, just orange. Because that's all I remember from the first one. It was just like lots of environments are just one color palette. And they like stylized it to hide that they obviously didn't have the, like this one, full offices, full buildings you're running through, you're sneaking around. Because that's what the game is. You're a stealth game. Go hide behind
Be
objects.
interesting.
Not fucking
Could have like, if it has online co-op, it could be cool.
Does? Oh, I thought you said it did.
It could be.
I doubt it.
No, it actually does say single player.
Yeah, okay. Ash just took us from not ever having a chance of it having any kind of co-op to me going, oh, maybe, and then him coming all the way back around to.
Well,
but
now
it
that I
does
said
say-
it, put it out there, they'll think about it and they'll go, yeah, we can make that work.
we can make that work.
Yeah, the developers listening to this.
Okay.
After your polish bit, they'll be like, yeah,
Okay.
these guys, they know what they're talking about. They're the arbiters of good things.
Okay. Because I thought he was like, we can make that work. I'm like, we can, but we can't actually make it. We ain't making the game. And that was, honestly, I feel like it was a weird, like, final one last.
Yeah.
It was like, it's cool, but it's not a.
Remember, it's not the end though. They've still got.
No, that's the
they've
end of
still
this
got
one.
more.
That's it.
It's the end of this
They're
one.
only doing one future game show. That's it.
Oh, sorry, future game. Look, we've talked about that many different computer game shows that have all been the same thing the last like hour and a half. That they've just, I didn't even watch them, and I felt like they're all blended together. So, yep.
What was your favorite one from this thing, Ciaran?
Favorite one.
Don't
from
scroll.
this?
Just take it.
I'm screwed. You gotta trust my memory on this. No. It's I'm trying to. I can think. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's on the tippity tip of my tonguity tongue.
Was it Waking?
Give
The
me
game
a
in which
second.
you're in a coma?
No. For me, it was always either going to be between Call of the Sea, Sherlock, or Kena, because those three I'd already had kind of connections with, and I really am looking forward to each of those for their own different reasons.
Ash?
Yeah, probably Dustborn or what was it? The spaceship one. Space Crew.
Oh, the FTL thing.
Yeah.
Because you're a big fan. We found it.
Big fan. Big fan.
Big FTL fan, we found out during this episode. That's right.
Yeah.
Mine would also be Dustborn, that's for sure. All right, that'll do it for this week. I don't know.
What was
Wow, that kept going.
If you've made it this far, I want to
You're a real genius.
waste your
You
time
are-
some more. Thank you for joining us. Sorry for wasting your time. I'm doing the intro, the outro slower than usual, just because I don't think anyone's listening.
The intro slower than
the
usual.
outro.
You're doing the intro.
I think I'm just
2.5 hours into the freaking episode or something.
I'm 100% fuck around on this outro because there's no way anyone is still listening to this podcast. And if you are,
tweet at Dylan. I was listening.
yeah, if you are
Just
legit,
Dylan, I was there.
if a single
I was
person tells me that they got all the way to this moment in time, fuck. Because I feel like it's been a long episode, and you feel like it's been a long episode. And truth be told, it's been a long episode.
Considering from behind the curtain, everybody, our recording time was 6:30. It's now 10:40 at night. It's been a long time.
You want to know my original plan for tonight? It was like, we'll start at 6:30. I'll knock this out earlier. I'll edit it. I'll have a...
Is it still the show?
Yeah. I'll have an... What do you mean is it still the show? It's on the show. Yeah, who cares at this point? Fuck. It's not episode 100, it's whatever fucking the next big... What? No, 100 would be the next big number, right? This one can... This, every now and then, you know how... You know
Are you drunk?
No. You know how... You know those CW shows like The Arrows and The Flash and shit? How they make TV is how I like to think about podcasts. They're like 13 good episodes a season, 10
Couple
medium to shit. That sort of ratio is how I go about life, Ciaran, right? Because as old good men say, quantity over quality is explosionnetwork.com's way of life.
Just audience members, you are currently experiencing what it's like to be awake at 10:40 at night after waking up at 1:45 the morning of the same day. If this is a warning for yourself, or maybe if you're a parent, for how you let your children kind of treat their life as they grow up,
Bullshit.
just, don't do it. This is why they say 8 hours is a must.
Welcome to Pleasure Explosion, #1 pleasure podcast.
And just to round off the show, everybody, Arcade Couch is gone fishing. See you if we decide to come back for the show, I guess.
This is great. This is the best thing I think I've recorded today. No, but seriously, I'll wrap up the show. I was trying to...
You know what? If we had an extra day and fucking 8 hours rest, Dylan woke up and was to edit this shit, none of this shit would be in this.
No, this is all staying.
Because it's overtimed, Dylan.
This shit is gold.
This is all in.
This shit is gold. This is the kind of thing. What you got to understand, Ciaran, is people listen to our podcast usually and they're like, "This is some professional A grade."
These guys know what they're doing.
These guys
know what they're
are
talking
very
about.
underrated.
Yeah, they're underrated.
Why is nobody listening to
They're
them?
fucking on top of the news. Their opinions are great. They're informed.
Except for Ashley's opinion sometimes.
They keep they keep the podcast on track. They get straight into shit. They don't spend much time fucking around. Barely any self-promotion bullshit in any of their podcasts. Bloody Explosion Network podcasts are top of the line, mate. All right, top of the line. What episode number is this? All right, lock it in. This is episode 82, Ciaran, right? We've reached the episode 82. And what we're doing now is we're expressing our...
So we're saying that every 82 episodes, shit's just going off the tracks. There's got to be one blow-off episode where they just lose their shit, everybody's just going mental, and then next week we'll go back to normal. Nobody will mention this. And, we'll just carry on with our lives.
So we're not allowed to do I'm locking in now. We're not allowed to do... I'm not going to say 82 because that's too many. We're not allowed to do another episode like this until at minimum, not saying we have to, right? But at the earliest, there's no more unprofessional behavior like this on the...
Are you scheduling our unprofessional behavior?
I'm going to delete everything before this started and just upload this.
Arcade Couch After Dark.
Yeah.
Just like the fucking.
It's not even because I hate the rest of the episode. I was like, the episode was fine. You know, it was a fine episode of Arcade Couch. It was neither a bad one or a special one. It was just a perfectly fine episode of Arcade Couch. But now that we've reached the end, I'm like, this is the gold. Fuck shit. Get me out of here.
The problem is, this is the tasty nugget at the end. Like, we were trying to. I swear you were starting to end this episode about 15 minutes ago now. We've just gone off the tracks, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like
boys and girls.
I feel like you know when the relief teacher comes in and you're allowed to have a fuck off day.
Yeah, I know. Ashley and me had that last week when you weren't here.
Yeah.
No, you did all right. So at the earliest,
No, yeah. It was like one of those days where the principal comes and covers.
yes,
That's what it was like.
yeah, there you go, there you
This
go.
is the relief
This,
teacher. Yeah.
this is like bent up steam.
No. This is like your high school teacher has like, look, she's having a rough time. She's probably going through a bad divorce with her parents. She's just found the wonders of whiskey and wine.
That's an odd
And
mix,
she's
but yeah.
just been, some reason, started bringing a flask to class. And it's just reached the end, and she's just, the booze has hit hard. And they're just starting to tell you about their life. Laughing, giggling.
Arcade Couch After Dark, you know.
Look, if this is, I'm going to be amazed if all of this is still in the episode.
I'm not touching it. I'm committed. I'm saying to you right now, swear to Jeebus and that, like, I ain't fucking around.
Yep. If you want to know where to tweet at us to tell us if you've listened to this.
Actually's trying to end.
Wait, I got to point out, I did the math. So episode 82 divided by 2, 41, right?
Ashley's pulling me eject
41.
cord. He's trying to
41.
leave.
So 82 plus 41, the earliest we can do another fuck around like this
It's 123.
is 123.
And it's not even like it was a whole fuck around episode. It just fell off the wheels when a Polish boy came into the fucking discussion. Like, that's when the wheels came off.
It's not even that funny. Not even funny.
It's really not.
No, but we all have our...
Talk about Poland a lot recently.
Yes.
You know, from the CD Projekt Red, right?
Yeah, they're Polish. Love them.
Yeah.
Fucking... CG Project Blue or whatever the fuck.
No, it was CG Projekt
CG
Red.
Project
CG
Red, sorry.
Project Red, thank you very much. If we're going to fucking go back to that bullshit, but it's
That bit.
fine.
Wrap up show, Ash. Would you fuck's sake?
Just take
Yeah, if you want to find us on Twitter to tell us that you actually listen to this for some reason,
Yeah.
explosionera.com/Twitter. No, so yeah, that's right. Even I'm.
It's correct. It's correct. ExplosionNetwork.com.
You host your own show.
Yes, I got it right. Yes.
This week's
Hey Dylan,
question.
what's
of
the question of the show?
This week's question of the show is: if you're hearing this, why?
So we don't mention this to anybody, right? Like, we just let this sit here at the end of the episode.
If no one listens this far, which they won't, we're going to go to our fucking graves with this game. You know when you can bring this up? Like episode 200. I'll give you permission then. You go to episode 200.
One of us will. If you want, you tweeted us though and let us know that
when
you
one
were
of
here.
us dies, then you can,
All right.
you can bring
Well,
it up.
no need to be so
maybe
fucking
also-
morbid, Ash, right? Fucking-
Maybe also just double check Dylan's okay, because he might have like spiraled and like exploded, or just might have had just a mental breakdown or a mental shutdown completely. If news stories stop happening to be posted on the Explosion Network, you know what's going on. He just put a pen
He
into the middle
broke.
of his forehead, everyone. How do we stop? How do we
If you want to answer the question of the show, email us at mail@explosionera.com with the subject line Arcade Couch.
See you here next week. Same time, same couch.
do we get the couch like cleaned after this? Like, do we
We
have
need
to
to-
like
Might have to
Get rid of
just
the
straight up
evidence.
replace
It
it.
does feel it does feel like Mike Myers came in wearing the cat in the suit fucking costume and kind of rubbed all over it. It's a bit
Cat in the suit costume. The cat in the suit costume.
Take me to Pleasure Town.